Okay, we're going to get started a little earlier today. Cold open, as apparently the government is moving early. This is supposed to start at 10 a.m. Central, but as you can see right now, they are live talking about this shit today. And this is Blabs will be joining in just a minute. Arch will be joining as well. But they are starting this hearing on, as you see, government social media censorship, which we've talked about this a lot of the show. Not a big fan of censorship. Either way, we're getting started a little early today. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is going to be a little different today. We do have a full run sheet of things to talk about, but we just wanted to try this out to see what happens, especially with something that is so near and dear to us as far as censorship goes. So we're glad you guys are hanging out with us today. You guys getting in early. Thank you guys very much. Like I said, Blabs will be joining me in just a little bit, but I actually I'm stinking hungry right now. I'm in the middle of a 38 and a half hour fast right now, so I'm ready to eat. But hey, I was gonna have time to eat, but that's okay. We got to learn. So here we go. Let's start this off. I don't know who these people are. I've never done anything like this before. Never actually watched anything like this before. But I am very intrigued to see if Dan Clancy actually shows up and if these folks are actually going to be here. So let's see what we got.
Political leanings ever learns that the federal government, trusted with protecting their First Amendment rights, is actually working to undermine them behind closed doors. Our founding fathers recognized that freedom of speech is vital. Protecting it is first and foremost in the Bill of Rights. While some argue that
none of these guys, those are not any CEOs of Valve, Twitch, anything like that. So I know that for sure. We'll see.
The First Amendment is
what's going on.
Part of our Constitution. Free speech is not just instrumental, but an end to itself. In the digital age, with all the peril and possibility that accompanies it, the struggle for free speech is the struggle for civilization itself. I want to thank the witnesses for being here today and look forward to their testimony. And I will, before I turn it over to the ranking member for her opening remarks, request that Chairman Cruz's opening statement be entered into the record. Without objection, Ranking Member Campbell.
So I don't know who these people are.
Welcome to our witnesses.
We'll find out.
For joining us this morning. These issues of the media and consumers and free speech, very important issues for us to discuss. In an era where consumers are paying more, where not enough competition exists, where deals are getting done that lead to fewer choices, less local news, I do have an important question. Where is Chairman Carr? Americans are paying and spending more money on content that used to be free more than ever before. And just a few weeks ago, we witnessed a deeply troubling episode. The FCC chairman demanding ABC take immediate action against Jimmy Kimmel for tasteless remarks and saying, quote, "We can do this the easy way or the hard way," end quote. A line that Senator Cruz rightly criticized as something, quote, right out of Goodfellas, end quote. Within hours, the nation's largest ABC affiliate, Nexstar and Sinclair, announced they would preempt the show indefinitely, and shortly thereafter, ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live altogether. While ABC, Nexstar, and Sinclair have since returned Mr. Kimmel to the air, that chain of events should alarm every American. Because the power of the...
All right, so as you guys can see, we got started super early today. We were actually going to be starting an hour early, but this hearing started early, so early that Blabs isn't ready. Arch will be joining us early, and we're going to react to this thing in real time here. We're going to see exactly what's going on with this. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, hearing on government social media censorship. Obviously, we work on social media. You guys live everybody lives on social media at this point. You want to know about us without social media. YouTube is a social media platform, right? So obviously, Twitch, the CEO, Dan Clancy, he was invited to speak at this. I don't know if we have confirmation that he is going to. Gabe from Valve has been invited to speak. I'm sorry, Valve. I say Valve or Steam, whatever. They're all the same. Discord as well, I believe, has been invited. So we'll see how this goes this morning. Like I said, we're all a little disheveled, getting started a little early, but we're going to make this thing happen, man.
This is in a long list of issues about the First Amendment. I think the president is making pretty pretty much a standard issue. Just last week, the federal court found that the administration violated the First Amendment by arresting, detaining, and deporting non-citizen students and faculty members for their pro-Palestinian advocacy. This follows the White House revocation of the Associated Press's credentials for refusal to use the term, quote, Gulf of Mexico, clearly an attempt to police the language and intimidate free speech. Meanwhile, the administration continues to wield the full power of the federal government to retaliate against law firms the president doesn't like and threaten funding for
Okay, so here's the thing,
universities.
the way they twist the words, you can hear that right there. So like, it's called Gulf of Mexico now, right? That's what it's called. So
infringe on free speech.
they keep going back to this free speech thing. And listen, I'm the biggest advocate of free speech ever, but if it's called a car, you call it a car. But you see the twisting of things. If it's called a screwdriver, it's a screwdriver. If it's called a woman, it's a woman.
How online platforms monopolize advertising, siphon revenue away from local newspapers and broadcasters, and the result has been newsroom closures, layoffs across the country, and even as the public trust in local journalism remains at an all-time high.
Who's this guy?
At the same time, media consolidation has been
Wait, hold on. Whoa, go back.
Since public trust in local journalism remains at an all-time high. At the same time, media consolidation has been concentrated.
Who is this lady? Is dense. Oh my God.
The U.S. has lost
trust in local journalism at an all-time high.
This year alone, 127
What?
newspapers closed. Nearly 55 million
That's
Americans
hilarious.
have limited or no access to local news, disproportionately affecting rural areas. That leaves new outlets more vulnerable to political and corporate pressures and leaves the public without further resources of getting to true competition, which I believe gets us to the truth. If Chairman Carr can threaten one network over a single late-night host and his message, what kind of message does that send to local broadcasters in Seattle or Houston?
Blabs, come on in whenever you're ready.
Do they lose their license if they're reporting or they're crossing the White House? This kind of intimidation undermines the very foundation of the free press. I want to be clear. Protecting a free press does not mean ignoring.
Okay, I don't know where I am, but I am here on screen.
We'll get you. Hold on.
I've expressed concerns about companies like Facebook, Google, and X on issues that really did threaten the lives of individuals.
1 second, Blabs.
I know that we will hear
I am your
lot about what the
conscience.
Biden administration
Yes.
did in these areas. But let's not forget, the Supreme Court rejected allegations of the Biden administration censorship because the record showed that social media companies, quote,
There we go.
continue to
Hello, everybody.
exercise their independent
Hello,
judgment,
Blabs.
end quote, and had, quote, independent incentive
Did I miss
to
anything yet?
moderate content, end quote. I'm sure we'll talk a lot about
This lady blames everything on
Their own content
everything that's not
moderation
her.
policies is not the same.
Who is she?
Is not the same as threatening
Some old
chemical
hag. I don't know.
retaliation.
All right, that's fair.
And that is precisely what Chairman Carr did
It's.
when he
I think what we're
publicly
going to hear a lot
threatened
today is just the classic rules for thee, but not for me type of thing.
direct regulatory power to take action over the
I don't know if
administration did not
we have
like.
not received any sort of confirmation that Dan Clancy will be here, or really any of the CEOs will be here. But either way, we're starting super early today. They started early, which is weird, but the whole idea here is she's going on the FCC thing. She started talking about Jimmy Kimmel and how the FCC is, the whole, we can do it the easy way or the hard way, which I don't think anybody saw that and was like, that's a good look for the FCC commissioner to be saying that. But she's going off about the, I don't think I've heard the word fascist yet, but I'm sure it's definitely on the way, Blabs.
Fascism.
Yes.
Well, you should do a bingo game.
Oh man, we should absolutely.
I'd like to introduce
Let's see what
our
this person
witnesses
does.
for today. Our first witness is Mr. Eugene Valek, a senior fellow with the Hoover Institution at Stanford University and a professor of law emeritus at UCLA School of Law. He's an expert in First Amendment law, and his writings have been cited over 300 court opinions, including 10 Supreme Court cases. Welcome. Our second witness is Mr. Alex Berenson, an author, independent journalist, and victim of the Biden administration's embargo on free speech. I look forward to hearing from Mr. Berenson and his story and what we can do to preserve speech online. Our third witness is Mr. Sean Davis, Chief Executive Officer and co-founder of The Federalist, a conservative news outlet that was subject to censorship and demonetization efforts
looks like an
for
egg.
speaking out against the COVID-19 shutdowns. And our final witness is Mr. Gene Kimmelman, a senior policy fellow at Yale's Tobin Economic Policy Center and a senior research fellow at the Harvard Kennedy School's Center for Business and Government. And at this point would recognize.
Okay, so
Mr.
I don't see
Volek
any of the CEOs here.
Opening statement. Thank you.
They're probably not here. We've been bamboozled.
Well, just because they are invited doesn't mean that they need to show up. It is voluntary, but
There.
but
But that's not what it was advertised as. It was advertised that Dan Clancy would be there like a month ago.
well, Dan Clancy was invited to be there, which is a big difference than actually showing up. So I don't know. We got to find out if he's actually going to show up because he was invited. The CEO of Discord, as well as Gabe Newell from Valve and Steam, and Steve Huffman from Reddit were all invited. And this was all about. This was in response to, let's see, the government. Okay, this is Dan Clancy has been invited to the U.S. House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform to testify on a congressional hearing today. So regarding the radicalization of online forum users from the assassination of Charlie Kirk. James Comer, is this that? I don't think this guy is James Comer here.
There's a lot of people on the chat saying it might be later.
Well, if that's the case, okay.
Well, like later when?
Well, it says it's supposed to start at 10, like 15 minutes from now.
Central time, they're saying, yeah.
Well, here's the guy who's supposed to be running it, James Comer. This is what this guy who's running
Why
it.
are they all so foggy looking? Damn, bro. Anyway.
Listen, Blabs. So
when you're an evil overlord politician, looks don't matter.
you are so mean.
Yeah,
So-
and
At
at least I'm not censoring people like they are.
That's a good call. This guy, this doesn't look like the guy. This doesn't look like the guy that we're supposed to be looking at. Like I said, I've never watched one of these before. Have you ever watched anything like this before?
No, I think the most I've ever watched was like inaugurations and stuff, like presidential inaugurations. That's about it when it comes
Yeah,
to
like I
anything
said-
political.
I said I think that's the thing is people go like, you guys talk about politics. No, I don't know. I don't know the first fucking thing about politics. Like I legit don't. Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of folks who are, are in on the politics stuff, and like I see it from afar. I am such a normie when it comes to this stuff. So let's see. I'm looking at.
I agree with John Connors. Hi, John, by the way. He says, years of corruption stress does wonders to the skin. Talking about all the politicians looking like haggard.
Right. Wait. Asmigel says 2 o'clock Central?
That's 3 in the afternoon. What the fuck?
See, this is what everyone, the chat's going crazy over here. Let's see. It's in an hour. 10. Well, no, we're past 10 o'clock Eastern. We're past that right now. So I don't know. The roaches on Asmigel's stream say 3 o'clock Eastern. That's 2 o'clock.
Well, where are they getting their info from?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. Let's find out real quick. Let's do some.
I mean, they could very well be right, but they could also be very wrong.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, Arch may be joining us.
Yeah, he
well.
says he's alive.
Oh, that's good.
I texted him and I was like, "Hey, please confirm you will be there." I sent him the links and everything, and he responds back saying, "I am alive."
Oh, good.
And I reply back saying, "I'm so glad to hear." But I don't know anything after that.
Oh, here it is. Okay, yes, we have this right here. Twitch CEO, this is according to the internet. Twitch CEO hearing where Dan Clancy will testify has been moved to 3 Eastern. Fuck!
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
That's 2 Central. That's when our show's supposed to be done. But you know what? I'll fight through it. If we need to go for an extended amount of time today, I'll make this work. But I do think we should take some breaks throughout the day. So look, if we want to buckle up and be a part of this thing throughout the day, let's do it. God damn it, that's crazy. Yeah, and I said, let's have some fun. Let's stick and go. Why not? Why not just figure it out and we'll go? Okay. Why not? Yeah. Blabs is like, I don't want to be alive all day.
No.
Sorry, sucker. Hey, Tenarian, by the way, right at the tail end of yesterday's show. Came in with a 10, like literally
Happy.
seconds before we
I can
finished.
do that. I can do that stuff.
So Tenarian, you may be watching or not, but you do get Poppy. There's Poppy. P-A-P-I.
Happy with no hips.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Eric says, shut this down and start at the regular time. You guys think we should like come back in an hour? You guys good with that? Blabs is like, yeah, I agree. Okay. You're muted, Blabs.
Like a retard. Anyway, I said, I'm ready to go. Might as well. I don't know what Arch is doing. I don't know anything. I think he was going to jump in like 10 minutes.
Well, I'm hungry as balls. I want to eat. That's what I want to do. I have not eaten in 38 hours, so I'm ready to eat. I wanted to grab some food before we got going. I mean, we can just stay live. Should we just stay live and just go and just be live all day? What do you think, Blabs?
You're the boss.
Goddamn right.
This is literally your decision.
I know, but I do want to get input on it. Improv and tell them. I don't know. Yes, I am live. Yes, we are live. But here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Is like we are live on Rumble. We are live on YouTube.
You'd have to end it and make new streams, and you'd have
YouTube's
to
a
go
bitch.
and put this on members only because YouTube's a bitch. So you might as well just keep it on.
I agree. I think we should just be live throughout the day. I think we should. That's okay because you guys are going to be here for us, which is great. The guy came in with the 9 scariest words in the English language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. 9 funniest. The trust in legacy media has never been higher. That was pretty good. Did you hear that when she came in? Oh, you probably did. You probably didn't hear her when she was like, the trust in local media has never been higher. And I was like,
No, I didn't hear that bit. That's funny.
It's like, what a fucking idiot.
Well, here's the thing, like local media, like local, like your town media, maybe they're accurate. The bigger stuff, I'm calling cap on that.
Yes, I'm calling cap, as the kids would say.
These Utes.
Okay, well, look, we got a lot to get to today, and we have a big-ass 4-page run sheet, and I didn't even get all the things that I wanted to put on the run sheet for today. So I think what we do is we just kind of roll through this and make it happen, and I know that the normal men over here are going to have our backs as we bite the bullet as the government. I thought the government here, Blabs, was starting early. Like, I thought...
You think the government's punctual?
Well, that's
Haven't
why I
you
was so
remember what they did
surprised.
with that security alert during the Biden administration? Where like, we're gonna go and set everybody's phones off.
Yeah,
And everyone was freaking the fuck out because some people are like undercover or like they have a secret phone for like, abuse and everything. And they went and set the alarm different times.
Yeah. See, Blabs, that's what I was saying. I was legitimately shocked. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I saw this and was like, oh, holy crap. Like they're actually starting early. They got this. I still think we should probably listen to this. I mean, this is.
He looks like a discount Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean.
Wow. That's mean. It's fucked up. Let's go ahead. Let's just see let's see what they have to say here. Because maybe it'll all tie together. We'll see what they have to say here. Let's see.
Officials can run censorship campaigns like the Biden administration carried out, like the one the Biden administration carried out against me with impunity. At worst, they may face an injunction, but they will never have to pay for doing so, for violating our most basic right, the right to speak freely. So it's open season for government censorship. This loophole is even more expansive and dangerous when it comes to federal efforts to jawbone, pressure, or outright threaten third parties like Twitter into silencing the speech of their users, employees, or business partners. That's true whether these third parties are legacy media companies, new social media giants, or other types of businesses. As a practical matter, users are generally not privy to the communications between federal officials and the companies, so they have no way of proving the pressure existed or that it led to their censorship. My case is exceptional because of the documents I have proving my rights were violated. Yet even so, I've been unable to obtain a remedy so far.
I think that's one of the more amazing things about just this conversation as a whole is you have people going like, this administration is fascist. They are censoring AP and stuff. It's like, did you live through COVID? Did you try to make a YouTube video in 2021?
Hand in the sand. It's fine.
It's like, did you try to speak out? Did you try to just say, hey, maybe you should think for yourself. Maybe you shouldn't just go. Did you live through that? Did you live through the past 4 years?
No, he was probably on vacation with his millions of dollars.
I think that's
and his money laundering.
I mean, this guy, or maybe I think what this guy's actually talking about is actually over COVID. But that's the thing is you see these people talking about the, the fascist regime or whatever. And it's like, dude, like Adam Krigler had 27 strikes on his channel because he's
million.
whatever. It's like, because he just said, hey, you should probably not do this, do that. You know what I mean? So, and they were like, nah. But the fact that we have to still censor ourselves from saying, we have to say the jab. We can't say vaccine, although we're going to say whatever, right? And the fact that we get these things on the bottom of the YouTube videos that say, hey, this is the official narrative. Like all these things are a byproduct of what happened from 2020 to 2024. Joining us now, also a byproduct of 2020 through 2024. Arch. Hello, Arch.
You're muted this time. Damn it, we just got the camera sorted.
That's okay. Arch, check that audio and we'll
He was texting me before saying it was doing a thing where it was zooming in on his forehead. So he's got that sorted now. But now we can't hear him.
That's okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, hello.
There we are.
Hi,
Yes.
how you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine, thank you. How is everyone?
Well, I'm
Good.
glad you're alive. Was there something that you weren't supposed to be alive today?
Yes, definitely.
Which is
Terrible things you do not want to know about, Blabs. Trust me.
you were doing the kinky stuff again, weren't you? And you almost died.
I just imagine
God, I
Arch,
hope
like
not.
about 10 minutes ago, Arch just came off a 3-day bender and he just finished wiping this incredible line of Coke off his nose. And he's like, oh, government censorship. I love it. And he can't come in. Is it accurate, Arch? Is that
Who doesn't love that?
okay?
He's in love with the cocoa.
Oh my God. Well, hey,
Not
Arch,
on the low.
so we got news that the Twitch CEO hearing has been moved to 2:00 Central Time. So that's still 4 hours away. They moved it, but we do have this other hearing on government social media censorship. So you want to go here and then watch this?
You're the boss.
You want to keep going on this?
So they moved the other thing because
Yeah.
that was the thing we were supposed to do today, right?
Yes.
They moved that 4 hours.
Yes. What a bunch of assholes, huh? I mean, I'm not saying you need to stick with us, by the way, that entire time, Arch. But I mean, you can come and go as you see fit, buddy. You know the rules. But I don't know. We figure since we're here, we can kind of watch because this government social media censorship is still a very important deal to us. So we figured if
Absolutely.
this is going on, let's listen to what they had to say. But before we do, Hippie Tree Hugger came in, says Twitch CEO needs to be there and grilled over Hasan Piker being above the terms of service. I'm with you on that, buddy. And we
Speaking
got
of
some-
grilled, I had a grilled cheese sandwich for breakfast.
Oh, look at you, Blabs.
But I'd share.
Thank you, Blabs.
Grilled cheese for breakfast?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I ate it at like 9 a.m. I've been up since like 7:40, you know?
Yeah, but grilled cheese for breakfast.
It's not like you grilling the cheese by itself. It's just grilled bread. You know?
I mean, yeah, but I feel like this is an American thing where you just casually devour a small mountain of pancakes and syrup.
I didn't
That's the
have that
thing.
for breakfast. I literally had bread and cheese
Arch,
and juice.
We need to be very clear, Arch. No American outside of Blabs, who I don't even claim as American. She's Guamanian. No American has grilled cheese at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right.
Yeah.
Just like I don't.
I was up already for a while, and it wasn't 9. It was like 9:30. If it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, that ain't a thing. Chat. What's the earliest you've ever had a grilled cheese? And if it's before 9:30, just get out. No,
Just saying, but I'm pretty sure someone out there is gonna be like 7 a.m.
I know. Hey, Salon the Lich came in and says confirmed. Arch is breathing oxygen. Also use the gravitational force to avoid flying into space. More news at 11. Thank you, Salon the Lich. Brett says, stay and work through it. How many run docs items are you usually skipping due to time? And no one cares if you need food on stream as long as you don't chew with your mouth open. Oh, thanks, Brett. I'm gonna go get some food then. I'm gonna go get some yogurt.
What kind of yogurt?
Well, I'll show you in a minute. We got this as I don't see any committee meetings scheduled by reps. Not sure where the Twitter is getting their information. Okay, thank you very much for that. We'll keep an eye on that for sure. Rolling Minute says, I think you guys have missed my Rumble rant yesterday. But I just wanted to let you know, watching how driven and successful y'all have been lately, lit the fire under my ass to relaunch my new podcast. So thank you. Hell fucking yeah,
Yay!
Rolling Menace. Go get
Congrats.
it. Love that. Love that shit. Drag says, Craig hates third shift workers who eat dinner at 6 a.m. No. I'm talking about, like, that doesn't count. We know that doesn't count. Don't you throw me under the bus with this group.
I'm throwing. Listen, chat. We're going to throw him under the bus.
Blabs is not a third shift worker. All right?
How do you know? How do you know what I'm doing in my free
Because
time?
I know your work schedule, Blabs. I literally make it.
How do you know? How do you know I'm not out and about at 2 a.m?
Oh my God. Well, listen, I don't know what you're doing at 2 o'clock in the morning, Blabs.
You know what I'm up to? I'm off gallivanting for all you know.
Blabs going out with her second, trying to make some extra scratch at 2
Oh,
a.m.
no.
Oh no. All right, let's
The red
go.
light district.
Yes. All right, here we go. Let's just see what this guy has to say. This guy says he was censored over the during the Biden administration. I'm gonna go get my yogurt while he talks. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And expecting companies to resist censorship on behalf of their users or business partners is unrealistic. My case, as well as documents the House has unearthed in its own censorship investigation, shows social media companies dislike the Biden administration's efforts to force them to censor users. Yet they had many other interests before the federal government. They viewed sacrificing speech as the price they had to pay to stay in the administration's good graces. Every company will face this calculus, whether it's a Democrat or Republican, in the White House. And social media companies are really the most important way that independent Americans, that citizens can get their speech out into the marketplace of debate. That's why there is so much pressure on them. The truth is that as the law now stands, federal officials have every reason to believe they can coerce private third parties to suppress speech. This is a powerful loophole that is no doubt enticing to politicians and officials of both parties, but it's wrong. Whether it affects Republicans or Democrats, journalists or comedians, conservatives or liberals or independents, and whether it goes by jawboning, coercion, pressure, or threats, this kind of censorship is wrong. And this committee has the chance to begin the process of fixing that wrong. I urge you to take it.
Thank you.
I know that's a mobile state. That's a noble statement, not a mobile statement. Just the idea that, like, hey, this committee has a chance to correct things. Let's be real. Like, what is the percentage of anything actually happening because of anything that we're going to watch today? Let's just be very honest about it.
I was about to say, that would be the first time the government has fixed a problem the government has created.
Yep.
So for those of you guys just popping in, this is going to be much different than what we traditionally do. Usually our show is pretty, we have a show. We present you guys with news and stuff. Well, the news is happening right now. The idea was to watch the Dan Clancy and tech CEOs speak to this committee. That was supposed to start at 10 a.m., literally right now, but it has been bumped 4 hours. Instead, we have this hearing on government social media censorship, which we thought, hey, we're here. We're ready to go. So guess what? You guys get to hang out with us throughout the day, which isn't that fun and wonderful? And Blabs, maybe we should just invite some other friends to join us as well throughout the show as we hang out. So, like, this is more or less going to be just like a stream today, which... hey, this is something that we don't really do. We have shows. So anyways, maybe we can just reach out and see if anybody wants to come. So yeah, I think that'd be good. Blabs, you want to invite some other friends as well?
I just put in the private chat saying, who did you want?
Anybody who wants to join.
Mitsu would be really good with this.
What's that? Mitsu, Mally, Eric, anybody who wants to join, they're more than welcome. Because I think the more look, we got a lot of time to kill, and today's going to be an interesting, different change. So let's just see what happens here and kind of go. So
We'll now recognize Sean Davis to deliver his opening statement.
It begins with censorship. It moves to the destruction of statues and monuments, and it ends with the murder of people.
Seen all that.
It begins with censorship. It moves to the destruction of statues and monuments, and it ends with the murder of people. The drive to silence speech doesn't end at a podium's edge or at the four corners of a page. It always advances toward the violent elimination of speakers. And that is because the authoritarian impulse to silence speech is driven by a totalitarian desire to seize total power by any means necessary, up to and including the murder of one's political opponents. This dynamic was made clear on a Tuesday afternoon in Utah last month when my friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated in broad daylight by a left-wing transgender ideologue who is enraged by Charlie's clear understanding and teaching that God created us male and female, that boys cannot become girls and girls cannot become boys. Charlie was murdered by this left-wing assassin who had been radicalized by demonic transgender ideology because he was one of the most bold and effective speakers in the country opposed to this evil ideology. Rather than see a nation unite against terroristic violence designed to permanently silence speech, we actually saw the opposite. We witnessed people praising the murder of Charlie. We witnessed people thanking his assassin. We even witnessed members of the United States Congress all but say that Charlie deserved it.
You know how I know that we're a divided country and really world, Arch? Is when you have somebody who kills another person and one group of people says this person is left-wing, and then all the left-wing people say, no, he's right-wing. To where you can't even agree on a person's thoughts. That's a pretty good indicator.
There's a lot of interesting things around this and what he's said here too, because this entire situation has revealed a great deal of complicated processes when it comes to, well, all of how we do the political discourse right now. Like, for example, this guy is definitely elaborating somewhat on certain points here. And how do I put this? The fact that we now have had hearings on social media, etc., and this is a big deal, kind of shows us that all of this has become political in the political arena now, whereas before social media was this silly thing, right? If they had hearings on video games, that was a silly thing. It wasn't really a mainline thing. But now we have, of course, Trump, who made his career as politicians on social media. Social media is dictating the course of political commentary in general. Like, you constantly hear now politicians basically repeat the talking points of online personalities instead. The internet has very much so become a thought leader in this regard. And that's where the censorship comes in as well, where for the very longest time, the left had a near exclusive hold on social media until Elon bought Twitter, basically. There was no thing as a right-wing platform. And even now, Twitter is not a right-wing platform. Like, studies have shown that it's actually one of the most neutral we've had ever, pretty much. And it sharpens everything when it becomes politics, because now it becomes legislation. Now it becomes public hearings. Now it becomes a matter of debate, national security. We're no longer just talking about this on the internet. This is having real world consequences. And I do understand how a lot of people on the left are also kind of frightened about this, because they are now seeing the government begin to basically wield the weapons they created. And they feel like the discourse has gone beyond them, canceling people on social media. And it's now entering the realms of actual physical governance, legislation, etc. So it's a weird situation, because I heard, I know I'm going on for a little bit here, but I have...
No, by all means, Arch, go crazy.
I caught a bit of an interview with Not So Erudite, whose show I was on a couple of weeks ago, and Destiny, who's also been rather famous recently, where Destiny basically made the point that he acknowledged that left-wing cancel culture was a thing, but he differentiated now with that the right-wing cancel culture had political force, because it was partially done by, like, the president signing into order like ban Antifa, etc. And I disagree with this, in that the left has also used politicians on multiple occasions, has created hate speech legislation against their political opponents. But it did kind of make me realize that this has all stepped into a very new and very serious element now, where we have government committees, we have the president, we have actual laws being written in order to try and regulate social media, which is going to naturally become partisan, because that's the way we're in now. Like you said, Craig, we can't even agree on the shooter's identity now, where we have late night TV show hosts going, oh, he's MAGA, right? If we're that divided, if we're that politicized, and the government does start making legislation on social media, as it does appear to be, is that going to be a good thing?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, right? And so there's a lot what you just said, and I agree with a ton of what you said. And so soon as Soul Silver says, hot take, that social media is a mistake and needs to be purged. They have caused more problems to humanity, and yet they blame video games and anime. It's funny you mentioned that, because I've talked extensively about how I think that we will reach a point where, just like cigarettes in the 40s and 50s, where doctors were saying, hey, you can have that cigarette. Go ahead, have that cigarette. It's good for you, right? And eventually they're like, whoa. Oh, this shit causes cancer. We should probably ban it until you're 18, right? I think you're going to see a very similar thing with social media. And we're actually already starting to see this. And people have been very upset about it. I saw people are upset about this, as Denmark is looking to ban social media for children under 15. So I think we're well on our way to this happening in America, for sure. If the government can get their hands on things or put restrictions on things, they certainly will. And I have very mixed feelings about this as a parent. I definitely, all the data suggests that social media specifically from a teenage girl perspective is extremely damaging to them. It does way more harm than it does good. And I totally understand it. And I like to look at data when it comes to these things, but there's a bigger piece of data which is the government fucks everything up 100% of the time when it touches things. So that's why I'm hesitant about it, So.
Well, yeah, because I agree as also. Social media has clearly proven itself to be far more than just a chatting platform, right? And it does seem to affect young people poorly. Like, I would say, basically restricted to maybe a year before you can vote or something. But then it comes into question, how do we control this? How do we restrict people under a certain age from using social media? And the answer is probably going to be some form of governmental ID or facial scans or something.
No.
I'm just going to add Lumi in, by the way. She's been backstage for a few minutes.
Look who's joining us.
Hi, Lumi.
Hey, guys. How are you doing?
Good. Did you change your avatar?
This is one of the many that I have.
Look at that.
Parenting number one failure.
It's pretty cute. Little Indian style with the cross legs there. That's nice.
I also have a pony model too. That's
of course. I'm assuming that one's just for Arch.
And Arch is like, yes, ponies.
Hashtag brony.
All right, well, Lemmy, great to see you. Thanks for hanging out with us today. We're doing something a little different today, and just kind of watching all this insanity as it's unfolding. And there's obviously you see on screen a hearing on government social media censorship. So let's see what's going on here. By the way, I think we can all agree. Look, Dan says, does it count if you add bacon to grilled cheese for breakfast? I've never done that, but yeah, who eats just grilled cheese for breakfast?
I do, you peasant.
No, look, here's the thing.
I had bacon to mine.
Okay, this is Dan. I'm glad you brought this up, and this is going to be an important topic throughout the duration of our conversation today. Is that when you add bacon to cheese, you are one step away from having a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. So I would say yes, that does dramatically change it to breakfast, because bacon is a breakfast food. So Dan, yes, that is a line that crosses it over from.
This is like the most retarded take you have, bro.
Blabs, a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich is a breakfast sandwich.
Yeah, it is. But like grilled cheese is also a breakfast food because it's basically the same ingredients, right? You got eggs, bread. You can literally have that any time of the day.
Yeah,
one in the afternoon, one in the morning.
You're being ridiculous, Blabs.
I just think you're uneducated with your cheese, and it's very clearly obvious from last week.
This is true. I don't know cheese.
So there you go. And that you think you have the audacity and the authority to tell me if grilled cheese sandwich is edible at 9 in the morning.
Yeah, I do. 1,000%.
Your logic is flawed.
Ridiculous. All right, let's see what else we have here with as we turn our attention back to the government for social media censorship. Let's see where we go with this.
That isn't the only recent example. The Democrat candidate for Attorney General in Virginia was revealed last week to have called for the murder of one of his political opponents. Even worse, he also said he wanted his opponent to witness the murder of his own children, to watch them die in their mother's arms. Why? To make him feel pain for having different political opinions. How many here today condemned that insanity? Or publicly recognize that someone with such a broken moral compass is simply unqualified to be a state's top law enforcement officer? We have heard the tired cliche that riots are the language of the unheard. But the reality is that violence is the language of the unhinged. And far too many people in this room are fluent in it.
Oof, man, that's a pretty fucking good statement right there. I'm not going to lie. That was fucking brutal. I think that needs to be put on a plaque. My God, that's great.
So on the point there as well, right? So he mentions how the left has been saying some pretty ridiculous shit. And there's a reason for that. It is because over the last 10 plus years, if you go back to when Craig was basically coming on the internet for the first time, right? So prehistoric era.
Yeah, a long time ago, yes.
You need to say some crazy shit on the internet to offend someone. To troll, you need to invent characters like Pedo Bear. You needed to go far, you know? Because everyone could say anything. And so, offending someone was genuinely fucking difficult. Whereas now, the right has been censored for a very long time, to the point where most people who are on the internet and have right-wing opinions, we know how to censor ourselves. We know where the TOS line is, and we do not step over it. Whereas the left hasn't had that. The left has been able to say anything it wants, which is why it is comfortable saying shit like, oh, I hope you see your children die in your wife's arms and don't expect any consequences. Can you fucking imagine a right-winger saying that? He knows that he'd be gone in 5 seconds, but the left just hasn't had those consequences. And now that they're finally reaching out to touch the live wire and it zaps them, they're sitting there with shocked Pikachu face what do you mean? Consequences? I was just saying the same shit we've been just saying for 10 years. Yeah, and that's the problem.
I think about the things so things you can't say on YouTube still, right? You can't talk about COVID. You can't. We have to say things like self-deleted, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to self-censor yourself every single time you want to talk about anything that is real life, and it's all under the guise of being advertiser friendly here.
But it's what's wild about the entire thing is with everyone having to self-censor themselves when it comes to talking about atrocities and bad things that happen, we're starting to get desensitized about what's happening in the world, because no one is being told okay, these people are dying out here. This is happening because of this person committed sewer slide and whatever else. No one takes it seriously anymore. And that's absolutely terrible. I remember, what was it? 15 years ago, when this one girl got bullied relentlessly to the point she drank bleach and she was found on the side of a road. That hit a lot of people really hard. But now it's just another day in America, another day in the world where it's oh, well, that sucks. Anyways, let's move on.
Right. There's so many instances of things that have happened in the last, I don't know, few weeks that would have been major news when, as Archie said, when I started on the internet 20 years ago, and now it's just oh, it's a day that ends in Y. Oh, there's people who are fucking insane. Okay, great. It's great. Nick says, this is going to sound controversial. Food is food. You eat it when you're hungry at any point of the day. Nick
gets it. Nick gets it. There is no set time of the day to eat any food that you want to eat. Craig is just an ist and a phobe.
I mean, I agree. I will eat biscuits and gravy all day, every day. I don't care. It is delicious.
Well, here's the thing about that is that a biscuit and gravy is different than a grilled cheese.
It's literally bread. And bread.
Okay, don't do this like, hey, everything is bread. Everything.
I mean,
is
you're
because,
literally trying to argue about bacon, egg, and cheese, and
no.
biscuit gravy and grilled cheese, and it's like you can eat those whenever you want, whenever you want.
Blabs, stop being retarded.
I'm being the logical one
Dave
here.
says,
You're the one with your ass, with your freaking head in your ass, you know?
Blabs, we're having a very serious conversation about grilled cheese and government censorship here, okay? It's ridiculous. By the way, executive producer Elsie Kim says, feet time has made it to side scrolls. That's great.
Shout out Lumi.
Let's go. And Darth Davey says, I still can't get my head wrapped around what is social media? YouTube, Discord, Facebook, Twitter, New York Times, National Enquirer, CBS. Yes, listen, it is all social media. I would say FaceTime is not social media. Although you technically, I don't know, social media is anything that allows you to connect with other people online. So yeah. Katie Astronaut says, hi, Arch. It's always good seeing you. Seeing you, I guess, on the show. My question is, with all the madness going on in Europe, do you plan on leaving or just buckling down and toughing it out?
Well, my government has introduced a brilliant idea where if you do leave, you still owe the government 5 years of taxes. And the government determines what it thinks you would earn in that period of time. So...
What?
That's nice.
I like how you rephrased that. My government did this amazing thing. Very interesting, fascinating to watch.
That's right. Totally reasonable and excellent. It's great. In order to not get thrown in jail, right, Arch?
Well, yeah, because we started raising taxes on the rich people. But the problem is the rich people then thought to themselves, hold on, I'm rich. I could literally go anywhere I want. I can buy a house in Switzerland. And so they did. And then the government was like, oh, shit. If we keep this up, we're not going to have any people left. What do? Do we lower taxes to make it more reasonable to start businesses in Norway and be rich in Norway? No. We punish people.
No. That's awesome. All right, let's continue on to this social media censorship hearing, as this guy was spitting bars 20 minutes ago when we stopped. Here we go.
My name is Sean Davis, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of The Federalist, a conservative digital media company that focuses on politics, culture, and religion. I'm also a victim of illegal and unconstitutional censorship. My company, my colleagues, and I have been the targets of a coordinated and global multi-year censorship campaign. In 2020, a foreign government-connected outfit in the UK colluded with Google to demonetize The Federalist. Our crime? We published an article in the summer of 2020 entitled, "The Media Are Lying to You About Everything, Including the Riots." Later that year, in the midst of a close and heated presidential election campaign, government-funded efforts in the U.S. repeatedly censored Molly Hemingway, The Federalist editor-in-chief and a New York Times bestselling author who's here behind me today, and me because of our election reporting and commentary. I was censored for posting a screenshot of and a link to a Pennsylvania Supreme Court decision requiring mail-in ballots received after Election Day and lacking a postmark to be counted and presumed as valid votes. Molly was censored for posting a link to an article The Federalist published. The headline of that article, "America Won't Trust Elections Until the Voter Fraud is Investigated."
What's that, Arch?
Oh, no, everything on my end just died for a second.
Oh, okay, but you're back?
Slightly worrying. I think so.
Okay, good. Okay, let's keep going.
But the censorship didn't stop there. We were also targeted for bankruptcy and destruction by the U.S. State Department and its Global Engagement Center, or GEC. Despite the fact that GEC was explicitly prohibited by both the U.S. Constitution via the First Amendment and its authorizing statute from targeting domestic speech, it nonetheless sought to drive us out of business by funding, developing, and distributing technologies and tools to reduce our reach, by bullying advertisers into blacklisting us and many other conservative outlets, and by coercing big tech companies like Facebook, Google, and Twitter to throttle access to our content.
Isn't that amazing, though, to see how things have shifted? And Arch is kind of hopping in and out of space right there. It's you know what it is. He spoke poorly of the government.
He shat on Denmark.
Just be careful, guys.
Anything else in Norway?
They've shut off his internet, which is very upsetting. My God.
The fact this happened before as well. He was being a little too critical about his government and his internet shut off.
It's amazing how that
Norway was like,
functions, huh?
no, silence.
Just letting you know, hey, we got you. We got you guys. No, but it's interesting as he talks about kind of the being under the thumb of Google and YouTube, and that's the one thing people forget about, Lumi, all the time, is that Google owns YouTube. Google is the biggest search engine in the world. YouTube is the biggest video site in the world, which is tied to Google. So you truly have a monopoly when it comes to data and information. And that's the one thing that I don't understand about this, is how that conversation hasn't, I know that it's Alphabet and all that stuff, but when you have a company that controls data and controls your reach, controls your search engine optimization, literally, and they lean a certain way politically, or they have a certain way of thinking, that's pretty messed up. It's a pretty messed up situation right there. So let's continue here.
In essence, our own government, secretly and without any due process, charged us with thought crimes, convicted us, and sentenced Federalists to death. The censorship efforts our government funded with our money are still being wielded against us today. I'm here today to testify about the unconstitutional and illegal censorship of my company and my colleagues. But I'm also here to help you understand the real-world consequences in flesh and in blood of the drive to silence your political opposition. It doesn't stop at the page's end. The effort to censor and silence political opposition is not the final step in the effort to usher in tyranny and authoritarianism. It begins with censorship, it moves to the destruction of statues and monuments, and it ends with the murder of people, and it has to stop. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now recognize Mr. Gene Kimmelman for his opening remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Senator Cantwell, members of the committee. It's an honor to appear before you today. So as we've experienced this explosion in
they're cutting them off.
technology, which fundamentally is transforming our media landscape and information ecosystem, I think the fundamental principles that our democracy has always relied upon remain the same. First, we must prevent government from censoring protected speech, as Mr. Volokh said.
Which should be all speech, right? The idea of protected speech is all speech.
It's like my stance with, free speech and stuff is like, people can say the most vile shit, no matter how much it's just disgusting. It's still protected by the First Amendment. It doesn't mean they're not going to face any fucking consequences over that speech. But censoring any type of speech, in my opinion, is just it's not a good idea. Because, right now, you've seen it on Twitter where people are trying to censor, uncomfortable topics in fiction. And, with collective shout and everything, that is going absolutely insane. So the saying that censorship is not a scalpel, it's a shotgun, it'll spiral out of control real quick.
That's an amazing saying. Hey, Arch, did the government get you?
Yep.
Oh no, he's fighting back. He's fighting back against the man. We have this from the Zyxon. The doppelganger says, so what if Arch goes on vacation, just doesn't come back and refuses to pay the exit tax? This is a good question.
Well, unfortunately, there are extradition treaties and so on between America and Norway, so I'd have to go to Vietnam or something, which, I'm not entirely opposed to, but I think the food would be upsetting.
Arch, you showed me Norwegian prisons. Those are very fancy. Better than any place that I've lived in.
Well, yeah, because you're you. I wouldn't expect
Shut
you to
up,
live anywhere
Arch.
better. Nor do I necessarily think you deserve it either.
Shut up, Arch.
You guys have a great relationship. I love it. Old Gear, as this machinist says, free speech, no matter what, leads to the relative moralism we have now. We have illiberal elements who want you dead. We had blasphemy laws and restrictions. I see what you're saying there.
Well, actually, okay, so there's the thing, right? Our current system isn't actually free speech no matter what. Our current system is the result of 10 years of one-sided free speech, which basically arrives at a certain point where, have either of you heard of the prisoner's dilemma?
No.
Okay. So the prisoner's dilemma is an idea where you have two people who have been arrested by the police. The police don't have enough evidence to convict both of them on the strength of the evidence alone. So they go to them and offer them a deal. Listen, if you rat out the other guy, you will go free. No prison sentence, but the other guy will get 3 years in jail. If both of them stay shut, then they'll be convicted on minor charges and they'll get 1 year in jail. If both of them speak, they get 2 years in jail, right? So obviously the best thing is for both of them to shut up. They serve 1 year, they're both out, right? But in this case, the majority of people will choose to rat out their opponent, giving him 3 years, because that is the maximum benefit you can get. If the other guy rats you out, you only get 2 years. If you don't rat him out, you get 3 years, right? So this is kind of an evolutionary test system where the winning move most of the time is to rat out the other guy. But if you play this game multiple times, you develop a system. You must begin remembering, okay, he betrayed me last time, so I'm less likely to trust him the next time, right? We have currently been in a system where the right has repeatedly gone, I'm not going to rat him out. And then that keeps happening, and the left understands, okay, I can predate on the right with no consequences. I can get off scot-free whilst giving my opponent the maximum punishment again and again and again. And the only way to break that cycle is for the right to retaliate, to go, no, I will actually drag you down with me. I will take the second worst punishment solely so that you will have a punishment as well. And that's the system we are in now, where the right has to retribute upon the left. The left must experience cancel culture because it is the only thing that has gotten the left to talk about it. Now, suddenly, Destiny, Hasan, prominent left-wingers are going, my First Amendment rights, we must protect free speech. They haven't breathed a word of this for a decade, but now that the axe is coming for them, suddenly they're all for it. So the ideal then is to beat them enough to the point where they also go, yeah, no, free speech was pretty important. We should probably have that as a principle for both sides rather than as something we kind of like, but only when it's in our favor.
I love your passion on this, Arch. Love it. Let's continue this old man.
Second, we must also prevent media and information distribution platforms from concentrating enough power to block the competition and diversity that fuels open debate in our society. I'm worried that the current FCC is heading down a dangerous path on both of these principles. Recent statements from Chairman Carr echoing the president, threatening to revoke broadcast licenses for presenting content unfavorable to the administration, has chilled protected speech. And the FCC's push to eliminate or relax broadcast ownership rules and to welcome consolidation in media threaten the independence and diversity of local media that are critical to an informed citizenry. Just consider, we have pending before us the Nexstar merger with Tegna, combining national broadcast companies with more than 250 broadcast stations, combining multiple broadcast licenses in the top markets that are the most popular broadcast television stations, and having ownership in 2/3 of all markets, covering almost 80% of all households in the country, even though this appears to violate the limit Congress set at half that level. Chairman Carr seems to be moving.
So on this topic as well, right?
Mhm.
This is actually a genuine failing of the capitalist system in the US, where there are laws against companies gaining too much power. You're not supposed to have like a handful of companies owning all of the broadcast stations, because obviously that's going
Right.
to destroy competition, and it's going to mean that these companies can now determine what is truth. But the laws have not been applied. It's been stretched and stretched and stretched to the point where I think Google owns something like 90% of like smartphone searches and 80% of internet searches. That shouldn't be allowed. And it's not
Right,
allowed. It's
right.
not technically legal, but again, the government has kind of just allowed it to happen. And now we're in this situation where if you try to, like, imagine if we today tried to restrict Google, like break up Google or Alphabet, there would be tens of thousands of jobs lost, not to mention the damage to like internet infrastructure at a time when China is surging on its own side. Like, it's placed America and in the West, in more general terms, in a very vulnerable position where we know we have to do something, but it's going to really suck when we do it.
Right. Right. But it's just like, do you rip off the Band-Aid, or do you just, start? Is it a slow rip, or is it a fast, just rip it and grip it type of thing?
Yeah.
And I feel like the rip it and grip it is kind of what we're seeing right now in the government as a whole with this administration. That's what we're seeing with a lot of things, which is why people are so shell shocked right now. There's a lot of correction that needs to be made in about 4 years. So we got to move quick, move fast, and rip it and grip it. So, Lumi, we have this.
Yes.
Hello, Lum Lum. Are you having fun learning about politics and political process? Or is all this going over your head / mouse ears? Also, what did you do to Arch?
I didn't do anything to Arch. And I completely forgot on this model. I also have the toggle.
Wait, yeah.
Oh, wow. Is that a little Arch model?
It's a little Arch Plussy, yes.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome. Hey, Marksman wants to know, Arch, try fleeing to Bitcoin City in El Salvador. Why don't you go head over there?
Well, we tax Bitcoins too now, so.
Ew.
In fact, Bitcoins, I believe right now, are also liable for unrealized gains. So basically, the government can also look, okay, we think Bitcoin should go up this much this year, so we're going to tax you for that, because we have another genius system, which is called in advance taxes, where the government says, this is how much we think you're going to earn. You're going to pay us now for next year's taxes.
Yeah, that's like what they call in the United States, like unrealized gains or something like that, unspecified gains or something,
Yes.
to where it's silly. Well, you don't have the money, but you're going to pay taxes on the money. So there's that. It's like, well,
we're pretty sure you're going to have the money at some point, and we'd like it now.
That's right. Hey, Mikey came in and says, I personally think not enough is has been done. Remember the game ended the game ended the guy who did like to talk. See, that's another example, right? Mikey can't even say what actually happened. He has to code it. They game ended the guy who didn't like to talk. They didn't give a dang when they wielded the power. Thank you, Mikey. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, which is why retribution is required. Like, I saw somebody in chat bring up the example as punishing a child, basically. And yes, that is kind of how it is. Because the child, if it does something wrong, doesn't necessarily understand why it did something wrong. And therefore, you have to explain, okay, you did this thing wrong. This is your punishment. These are the consequences for doing that thing wrong. That's what the left needs to be taught, because the left genuinely believes that they are doing everything right, that America is full of fascist, evil people everywhere, catastrophic, they need to fight for survival. We go, no, we had elections. This is the consequence of your actions. And indeed, if you weren't so fucking crazy to begin with, Donald Trump would probably not have been needed. He is very much so the definition of a rod for your own back here.
And also, Arch, the analogy of, how you punish a child kind of You know the retarded thing of gentle parenting that's going on right now? That's like a huge fucking fad where it's like, oh, we don't use no as a word for our child. We don't yell at them and we don't spank them or whatever. That's how the left was essentially raised. They were never told no, and now they're fucking psychopaths. The right was the child that was beat with the belt.
Oh, I think there's a well, look, I think there's a lot of truth in just you have to be able to say no to your kid. And so many parents, they want, and this goes back to the age-old literal stereotype of so many parents want to be friends, they don't want to be parents. And it's you are definitely seeing the adverse effects of that parenting with a lot of kids today. I agree. Jim says in the U.S. it's not illegal to have a monopoly. It's just illegal to abuse one. And if we broke up Alphabet, only search and YouTube would survive. They subsidize everything else. Thank you, Jim.
Which is also kind of the problem, though. Like, if you have a company that keeps other companies alive solely through one other company, once more a capitalistic failing, where you have a lot of vestigial entities that wouldn't live, and maybe they shouldn't live.
Marmalin says advertiser friendly. Meanwhile, a Twitch streamer gave birth on stream.
Oh my god!
Yes,
you guys see that?
I saw that.
Yeah, it's like it's gross on so many levels. One, that kid's life is already ruined before they even have the knowledge that they even exist right now. And two, that it's like when I was younger, I explored weird ass fucking subreddits because a lot of them are fucking weird. There's one that people share birthing videos because it's fetish content to them. So that is fetish content live on stream for a good amount of people, and it's gross.
Again, like you say as well, child's life ruined before it even began. And you have examples of this now. You have, for example, Destiny's son, who has, in all due likelihood, been ruthlessly bullied his entire fucking life to the point where now he has identified himself in opposition to his dad, probably because of this. And you imagine this kid, like, oh, hey, I saw your mom's vagina on Twitch 16 years ago. Here's the clip.
Yikes.
That's Blabs' future right there.
What the fuck? Anyway, I'm sorry, guys. He's just being an asshole today. Can I bring you back now?
Bookmark it. Clip it. No, just kidding. Just kidding, Blabs. All right, I'll tell you. Let's get to some of these supers real fast. Tenarian says, "I lived through the prisoner's dilemma, and we didn't rat each other out. We were taken to court with 35 pages of charges against us, and I actually felt bad for the prosecutor. They had nothing on us, and we walked. Remember, kids, leave no witnesses." All right, Tenarian, thank you for that. Blabs, this is for you. From 8-Bit Miko says, as someone from the land of Gouda cheese, I can say Blabs is based for doing what she wants. Grilled cheese in the morning.
Thank you. Eat what you like whenever you like, and don't take shit from nobody. Especially Craig.
I'll remember that here when we have our
but you're just uneducated, so like you should absolutely listen to what other people suggest for you for food because
do you hear the sheer snobbery coming out of Blabs' mouth right now?
Yeah, but Arch would agree with me.
Well, it's only sort of. See, I'm very much so the kind of person who's like, I'm an adult now. I can do whatever I want, which is also why I buy my candy by the 2-kilo box.
Oh, wow.
Because I am an adult now, and by God, if I want to eat ice cream for breakfast, I'll fucking do so.
Yeah, however, let's go!
Yep.
I also recognize the fact that if I do that a little bit too much, I'm not going to be able to stand in a few days.
This is also true.
Well, since you're so cultured, you'll be able to, and I've made an effort to avoid Olive Garden talk, but since you'd like to bring it up, we'll make sure we show you how cultured we can be when we deliver you unlimited soup, salad, and breadsticks very, very soon. Suna says, so if grilled cheese is okay to eat for breakfast, then having cream for carbonara is fine because Italian cheese is too expensive for normies.
That's just weird.
Oh, okay. Now that's weird. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
there
you're
we go.
just changing everything, right? It's not pasta carbonara anymore if you're using cream.
Well, it's not bread if it's like one's a bagel and one's a piece of bread and one's a
Bagel
biscuit.
is still a type of bread. It's just a bagel.
Well,
These are not the same. You're literally comparing apples
it's
and
all the
oranges
cheese.
here.
It's all the cheese, Blabs. It's all cream.
Yeah, but
it's
I'm
all
telling you, you can
milk.
have cheese for breakfast. That is my entire point here.
But you can't have the cream in the pasta, otherwise
Well, no,
it
because that
changes
doesn't make
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Tirjik came in and says bacon is a universal food, Greg. You uncultured swine. No, I love bacon. What are you doing? I'm saying if you put bacon on your grilled cheese, that elevates it. It's the best kind. Can we just get back to this old man talking about government censorship? Let's go.
Forward. And this is on the heels of Skydance, backed by
By the way,
Oracle
we're
Mr.
42
Larry
minutes
Ellison,
behind what's actually happening in
buying
real time.
Paramount Global, CBS, now seeking to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, more studios, more networks, cable channels, and Mr. Ellison appearing to pick up about a 20% stake in TikTok. And the FCC is also considering allowing companies to own multiple national networks. These deals, and certainly more to follow, likely threaten to build a form of private censorship through outsized media power.
Legit question.
Yes.
Do you think we'll see a day where, just like they're talking about limiting the number of networks that you can own, limiting the number of YouTube channels you can own?
Well, see, there's obviously a couple of differences there in terms of scale.
Maybe.
I would ideally say, like, you should only have one YouTube channel, but that is constitutionally guaranteed. Like, you have a right to a social media account. You have a right to social media, be it Twitter, Facebook, whatever, and that can only be taken away with you after serious infringement. Like, you're going to need to kill somebody to have this taken away, right? Because that is your way of participating in democracy. So I could see an argument for it, but I mean, what they're basically talking about here is not owning a YouTube channel, it's owning YouTube. And that's where we get censorship via terms of service, which is how a lot of these social service platforms have been doing it, where technically something isn't illegal. You can say it, but you'll be yeeted off the social media. And so you essentially have these platforms legislating via TOS. They're creating their own rules on speech so that you can say that America doesn't have hate speech laws. True, but YouTube sure as hell does.
Right. Okay. I understand that. It'd be kind of like instead of cracking down on somebody having a network, maybe cracking down on this YouTube analogy is kind of like cracking down on the number of shows a producer can produce, right? On from a terrestrial perspective, right? A network. So
yeah, because like I see your argument too, because the thing is, of course, the way YouTube works now is that YouTube wants you to produce one thing and one thing only until it changes its mind. So they want you to produce loads of things. So having one channel would bone you quite a bit. But like ideally, I would like to have it be more centralized around one person and around their right to own that thing. But maybe a Google account or something. I hate that we have to talk about a Google account as if it's some sort of fucking civil right now, but that's where we are.
Right. All right, let's go to continue. Oh, by the way, White Wolf says, if a central bank is allowed to bury its roots in this nation, our descendants will wake up homeless on the very lands that their forefathers conquered. Thomas Jefferson.
I mean, he wasn't wrong, although it wasn't the banks. It was the media companies that came for us first. Because unironically, we have regulated the banks because everyone knew, oh, hey, a bunch of greedy institutions that earn money of borrowing other people's money, this probably needs some legislation. But for some fucking reason, we never thought we'd extend that to the people who owned the means of communication.
If you guys are just popping in, welcome. We got started super early today because we were told that Dan Clancy was going to be doing he's going to be speaking to a government group talking about a number of different things. Dan Clancy, the CEO of Twitch, as well as a number of other tech CEOs, are going to come in. That has been moved to 2:00 Central Time. And since we were live and Arch was here and good old Lumi joined us as well, we just said, hey, fuck it, let's just go with it and hang out and talk throughout the day and take a look at this. There's this hearing on government social media censorship going on right now. We thought we'd just watch this and react to it. And it's been pretty good. If you guys do enjoy this, please let us know. And you can let us know by hitting the thumbs up button over on YouTube, following over on Rumble. Love that. Cool. Great stuff. By the way, MJ Bull says, is a toasted bagel and cream cheese counting as a grilled cheese sandwich? Ooh, that's an interesting question, Blabs.
Wait, cream cheese?
Cream cheese on a toasted bagel.
It's toasted, not grilled, and the cheese is supposed to be melted. So no, it's not a grilled cheese. It's still totally fine. Obviously, breakfast food, fantastic, but I don't think you consider it grilled cheese. That makes no sense.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to get technical, it's an interesting question, MJ Bull. Thank you for that. We have this from Axie says, if you think grilled cheese for breakfast is bad, you'll shame me hard for eating pizza for breakfast at 7 a.m. No,
I don't shame you at all.
And there's breakfast pizzas now. There's a breakfast pizza that I had that was a croissant crust with country gravy, bacon, cheese, and a breakfast sausage on it. Oh my God, it was so good.
That sounds awesome. That sounds wonderful. And no, cold pizza is totally fine. That passes the bill. But if you were to go wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and go put a frozen pizza in the oven, that's kind of weird.
I've never eaten cold pizza in my entire life.
Art, when you come to the United States, when we bring you to the United States, you are going to experience so much shit. It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be great. I already told Arch that I'll travel down to Texas to help torment him with various flavors of food that he refuses to eat.
Mm-hmm.
I will bring you all a block of brown cheese that I'll expect you all to bite into every time you present me with something unpalatable.
I will take you up on your offer as long as I know it's actually edible, because you've been traveling for X amount of hours and I don't know how long that cheese will be fine without being refrigerated.
No. Brown cheese is like McDonald's hamburgers. It never goes bad.
I'm going to pass on that now. Thank you for that.
The appropriately named Flim Nasty came in. It says, what it sounds like is they're trying to stop monopolies with owning multiple networks, where it makes it hard to have competition, but owning multiple YouTube channels doesn't actually stop competition. Thank you, Flim Nasty.
Yeah. The competition is a big deal because we are now, because he mentioned them buying Warner Brothers, for example. We are now heading in a direction where basically a couple of companies are going to own all of the entertainment being produced, which is not a good position to be in. It's going to reduce competition. Obviously, it's going to result in inferior products, obviously. And with China already moving to try to become the cultural hegemon, this is probably not the time to do so.
Doppelganger came in and says, Google must be broken up regardless of cost. He also followed up, says, the left must experience everything the right has, legal and illegal, including current events. We have Sujat says, try out Irish/UK breakfast rolls. Great food. I like breakfast. Let's go and continue with this.
It is time to update the law and establish new guardrails to promote local, diverse, and independent media. The threat to democracy also comes from the dominant information distribution systems controlled by Google, Meta with Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Apple with its App Store. Here, the Trump administration has done an excellent job challenging these companies' monopolistic behavior, continuing the antitrust enforcement from the Biden administration. However, antitrust is not enough to eliminate the enormous power of these tech platforms. More needs to be done. Congress must give antitrust enforcers more tools to truly open up the tech information distribution platforms and modern media markets to robust competition. We need to reduce concentration of control in these markets, private control that can censor just as the government can censor.
And there too, the easiest way to do that is to simply guarantee access to social media. You don't want YouTube to be able to set the narrative on anything? Okay. Make it so YouTube has to host the content. So that if you will have somebody who wants to spout the most insane, Christian conservative values. All of the enemies are literally demons, and he is opposed to somebody on the left with the exact same extreme ideas, then you might have some balance. It simply needs, because that private media, what can be more private than a single guy with a webcam, right? Just, you need to have protection so that they can say whatever they want on those social media platforms.
I go back to, there was a thing called the fairness doctrine in the 80s that I think Ronald Reagan got rid of. And it was a thing in the United States that if you as a news source, you had to provide both sides of the aisle. Now, this is obviously before the internet existed. And it was removed in the early 80s by Ronald Reagan. And obviously, the ketchup's out of the bottle. You can't put it back in at this point. There's no way that you could do that, especially with the number of media sources there. I mean, people would argue that we are a media news outlet. Like, I don't think we're a news outlet at all, but people would argue that. And you have to, present, both sides. But once again, we're going back to the original conversation an hour ago. We're at a point where people can't even agree on if the shooter of Charlie Kirk was left or right. So how are you supposed to present both sides in that situation? I don't know. Don't know. We have Subject Noble says, let's talk about Hasan Little Diddy Piker. We'll get to him a little bit later on. Boog says, here's something for Blabs to rage about. Legally speaking, a hot dog is a taco.
I mean, he's kind of not wrong, isn't he?
Boog, I don't know about the legal aspect of that.
Yeah, the legal aspect's a bit weird, but I mean, you have a point.
I don't know. That's weird.
It's weird.
I don't know. As long as you don't put cucumbers in your hot dog, that's where.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Oh, now that's weird. Okay.
Hot dogs and cucumber? Why?
Weird.
Why would you do that on a taco? I don't know. Anyways, Armis says, having worked in a 24-hour calling, scheduling and on-call, I've had a full-on Thanksgiving feast with cheesecake and chocolate milk for breakfast once at 7 a.m. So to me, a grilled cheese at 9 sounds nice. More so if it's done with good natural cheeses for breakfast. Thank you, Aramis.
The problem, too, is you Americans don't actually have bread. You have loaf, which makes the grilled cheese even worse.
What do you mean? There's all the different types of breads in the world. Yeah, ciabatta bread.
Now, see, that's the problem. You have words for it. Over here, no, it's just bread, and you can beat someone to death with it. If you cannot kill someone with it, it's not bread.
Well,
I think you call that cement, Arch.
Bread.
If you can't kill somebody with your bread, it's not bread, is a statement that I didn't expect to hear today. But I appreciate that.
Just because your bread is cement blocks doesn't mean everyone else has to have it too. Arch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arch.
Yeah,
Arch.
Everyone
Should
just
be
boo
off.
this man.
And if you bite into it and you can feel the sugar crystals crunch between your teeth, as with English bread, it is not bread.
I question what kind of bread you've been eating the last few decades.
Maybe this explains his
brony obsession.
palate. Oh, maybe his brony obsession too. But dear God.
Arch I guess, do you guys have cereal over there? I don't even know if you guys do cereal. Because at the end of the day, that's what I'm imagining Arch is describing as bread, is just cereal with all the sugar crystals on it. Just having sugar bread in the morning.
We do have cereal, but only a couple of forms, like cornflakes or rice puffs. Because everything American you can only buy in special stores, because we keep that shit away from the general populace.
What do you think about banana cereal?
Well, we don't have that, but we have bananas in the Choco Puffs, like the little rice puffs. You put banana slices in there.
Uh-huh.
Nogard brings up a good point. He says, we do have plenty of lethal bread in the U.S. too, Arch. This is true. We will stab your ass.
Bread.
What's that?
That's what matters as bread, then. Eat that.
Oh, okay. only the tough bread. If you're not getting tougher while eating your bread, you're doing it wrong, apparently.
Yes.
Okay.
If you don't have to worry at it with your teeth to tear open the fucking crust, then yeah, no, it's not bread.
You like a fucking animal over here, just getting it crunching off there.
how's the state of your teeth while eating that bread?
Well, excellent, because that toughens the teeth.
Oh my God. Let's continue.
I'm going to say it is really time for Congress to update the Communications Act, to jump in and put an end to the threat of the bullying that we're seeing from the FCC, which chills speech and eliminates open debate and information flow in our media. And it's time to stop media consolidation and monopolization that puts too much control over the marketplace of ideas in too few hands. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Thank you for testimony. And I guess I'll just start there with just a quick question. So, Mr. Kimmelman, you...
Okay, we're getting into the questions now. Once again, we are 54 minutes behind here because we're talking about grilled cheese and hard bread. But hey,
Far more important matters.
I agree. This is important. And by the way, I love that we can toe the line between government, social media, censorship, and grilled cheese. That is
They're
side
like the
scrollers.
same thing, you know?
I mean, again, like the government's not going to do anything, but I might be able to convince Blabs to not eat like a, I don't even know, like some kind of savage child left loose in the kitchen.
What?
Hold on. Now, Arch, I am going to call BS as you had directly to your left a giant bag of candy.
Yeah.
Box.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
Can we
You
see
want
the
to
box
call
of
me a
candy?
child? Look what you're eating. I eat cheese like an adult.
Can we see? Can we see?
Are those gummy bears?
That is but one box of candy, incidentally.
Just one, huh? That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Twisted
But I
Frenzy.
eat them sparingly.
Sure you do. It's like one tub a week.
What's better, white or brown bread, Arch?
Brown bread, of course.
Okay. Wasn't sure where you're going with that. 8-bit Miko says, is a calzone a Wellington?
What's a Wellington?
Like beef Wellington?
I guess a Wellington is something that bread folds over it. And
Yeah.
I'm guessing, like, because that's what a
Wellington here
calzone
for
does.
New Zealand's capital city. Well, that's not right.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, let's get some questions here. Let's see what this guy has going on here.
are the CEO of a group called Public Knowledge. Is that correct?
I was at one point, sir.
Okay. What years were you the CEO of Public Knowledge?
2014 to 2019.
Okay. Okay. Let's just take a DeLorean back in time to the COVID era.
Oh, here we go.
What do you think it's appropriate for these sort of NGOs or nonprofits to work hand in hand with government agencies to flag misinformation or disinformation or malinformation?
Okay. What do you think he's gonna? How do you think he's gonna respond?
Hopefully, no.
Okay, that's the hope.
Mr. Chairman, I've worked with NGOs for many, many years, and I think it's appropriate on the left, on the right, for them to present ideas to the government, to the major players in the marketplace about their views. That's what I was involved in.
Well, let me get more.
Wow. So tells you everything you need to know about this guy, doesn't it?
Well,
Buttering one's own bread. No, NGOs should be harassed constantly, never listened to.
Lumi, you were gonna say?
I thought he was going to say, well, depends on what's good for the public interest.
I mean, what he more or less said was, "What's best for my interest."
Yeah.
That's what I heard there. So, all right, let's continue.
Specific then, do you think it's appropriate that the White House was working directly through a number of different agencies to work with the University of Washington and Stanford Information to sort of outsource their censorship enterprise to find out what the posts that they didn't like and then work with and then collude with at least or coerce social media companies to punish those folks?
Well, Senator, I think I've seen the government in many instances work
I'm
with
asking
private
about this
contractors.
instance because it wasn't like a galaxy far, far away. It was like a few years ago.
Yeah,
Do you think that's appropriate?
I'm not familiar with the details of what might or might not happen.
What about
Okay.
the scenario I just gave you though?
Working with a university to
Flag misinformation so that the government then can coerce social media companies to throttle.
I
or
never
defy-
think government should coerce social media companies, so I can't imagine that
Okay.
part of it is.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Davis, you're
Wait. How do you? He doesn't feel like government should coerce social media companies, but he just said his NGOs are there to provide data to. Okay, I feel like he's kind of speaking out both sides of his mouth here, but maybe I'm just misinterpreting what he's saying here.
Yeah. Okay. I also understand the idea in theory, right? In theory, various organizations should be able to approach the government and say, okay, listen, we're experts on this field here. This is why we think this is bad. Okay. But that assumes that the government will then be intelligent enough to sort the bullshit from the truth, which I don't trust the government with.
Ruby just says, hi, y'all. Thanks, Ruby. Appreciate
Hello.
it. What's up, Ruby? Jonathan says, Arch needs to have a grilled cheese and tuna. I'm not even going to finish that, Jonathan. I'm not.
Jonathan, what's wrong with you?
I don't even know what. Can we ban Jonathan? I'm just no, I'm just kidding. Jonathan, don't ever talk about putting tuna on a grilled cheese, ever.
He didn't say tuna, though, did he? He said tomato
Yes,
soup.
he did. No.
Ew.
Grilled cheese and tuna.
Sandwich.
Oh, wow.
Tomato soup.
Jonathan,
Hold on. Is this a bad time to inform you that we have a food in Norway that is literally mackerels and tomato crushed together?
okay, I can't deal with that.
No,
either.
I'm fascinated. What is
can't.
this? What the hell is this?
Yeah, we have mackerels and tomato who's crushed together and then placed in a can so that it's just like goop in a box.
Hey, you're doing a good job selling it here, Arch.
I
Goop
don't
in a
want
box.
to eat goop in a box.
It's my goop
What's
in
in
a
the
box.
Scoop.
Goop. That's right.
Yeah. We also have another breakfast food which is called Dead Man on a Tin.
Arch, you don't have to
Testimony
admit your crimes.
I know, joke. These are crimes against humanity that you're speaking of right now. By the way, thank you for that. That was really, really nice. Jonathan says, what did I even do? What the hell? You put tuna on a sandwich,
Oh, I love
Jonathan.
his avatar. That's funny.
Jonathan
Yeah.
Chadwell. Chad. Thanks, Jonathan. By the way, Tenarian says candy is food for us Nordic people. I've heard from tourists that they start craving chocolate when they get here. Oh, interesting.
That's true.
Okay, thank you. If you guys are just popping in, welcome. We usually live right now, but we started like an hour and a half early because we're going to do a reaction to Dan Clancy and these other tech CEOs. This was supposed to start at 10 a.m. Central, but they got pushed to 2 o'clock Central. So guess what? We're hanging out, and we're glad you're with us. So we're doing a stream today instead of a show, and we're reacting to this. Obviously, you can see on screen a government social media censorship hearing, and it's been very interesting, and it's spurred a lot of really good conversation, mostly about grilled cheese. So once again, we're glad you're with us. Hit the thumbs up button wherever you're tuning in. Hit the follow button. Whether you're watching over on Kick, Rumble, Twitch. Are you watching? No, you're not watching over on Twitch. We're not on Twitch. Get the hell out of here. Let's continue.
how in the summer of 2020, Google attempted to demonetize the Federalist following your critiques of violent Black Lives Matter riots. It's documented that the Center for Countering Digital Hate, the CCDH, specifically worked to demonetize the Federalist for these critiques. Could you just describe what tactics specifically were employed to do that?
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing that up. So I believe it was in July of 2020. We started receiving emails from NBC News reporter based out of the UK. I don't remember her name exactly. And they were almost taunting, asking for comment. Hey, Federalist, how does it feel knowing Google's is about to demonetize you for hate speech or something like that? I'm paraphrasing. And this was news to us. We hadn't broken any rules. We had gotten no notifications of breaking rules that we had violated.
Who's the retard? Who is it? Who's the retard on camera right now? Found her.
Yeah, try not to give her a name. Her name's Gretchen.
Gretchen?
Yeah.
It's they, them, Gretchen in the background there. There we go. Okay. Sorry, continue.
Gretch them.
Yeah.
Google's terms and conditions or AdSense's or whatever. And so we started calling around to contacts at Google and learned that, oh yeah, you are about to be demonetized because of hate speech, was what we were told. We had racist, violent hate speech, which was not true at all. And it was the CCDH who was working with this NBC News, I think it was called the Verification Unit at the time. They were working together and colluding with executives at Google, to this day, I don't know who, to come in and secretly demonetize us. And what I found most offensive about it was they were all in on it. They had news articles ready to be written, kind of crowing about how we got demonetized. We were able to fight back. We had a pretty robust response to that, and they ended up relenting. Largely, what was interesting was in that initial news article targeting us, they had cited that news article, how the media are lying to you about literally everything, including the riots. The NBC News ended up stealth editing that out, and they worked with Google to come up with a new rationale for demonetizing us, which was our comments were mean. We had an unmoderated comment section, so we ended up having to delete our comment section to avoid being demonetized by Google because a bunch of foreign connected government outfits decided that they didn't like what we were publishing.
Okay.
That is crazy.
I remember that too, because that was there was an interesting period where this was like 15, 16 or so, where the argument was that certain YouTubers on the right should, and the Federalist, I think, was a part of that, should be demonetized because of their comments sections. Now, that largely stopped being the case because people were immediately realized, oh, hey, this is a precedence. What if we popped on over to some left-wing channels and see what they say in their comments?
Right.
That was a wonderful example of retribution because that was a tool used by the left. Okay, this is a good way to cancel the right, until a lot of people then looked at their channels and went, wow, you write way worse stuff, which is a wonderful proof that retribution does work. As right now, even, you have the argument constantly from the left that you can't judge us by our audience.
Well, I think we heard that as well. Was YouTube videos just as an entity? If you put a video out and somebody said bad words in your comments section, it would actually deboost the video based off the comments. Like, how silly is that? Insane. Let's continue here.
In limited time, I want to, Mr. Berenson, it's clear now that during the Biden administration, CISA, which is mentioned a lot in this report, obviously, operated kind of a switchboarding mechanism during this period, flagging disfavored content from domestic sources for social media platforms. Based on what you've seen, how is CISA specifically doing this? What was the abuse really all about?
Well, again, I think you laid it out. They redefined infrastructure. So it wasn't actual physical infrastructure or software infrastructure. It was things people were saying. And there was a period very early in 2022 when they actually tried to redefine terrorism as "quote unquote" misinformation. There's a bulletin from February 2022, which I think DHS put out and then retracted under pressure. So, once you start saying that people's speech is terrorism, you're going down a bad path. And I don't think that's something that either party should do, honestly.
Thanks.
How often did you guys hear stochastic? What was the phrase? Stochastic terrorism?
Stochastic terrorism.
Whatever. And I'd never heard that before about this time. He's talking about 2022, 2023. The idea of, hey, you're saying mean words to me, you terrorist. Like the redefining of these words is crazy.
That's not actually stochastic terrorism.
Okay.
Stochastic terrorism is when somebody says, for example, like Nancy Pelosi, this is a fascist government. That is stochastic terrorism, because what she's saying is the government is evil. The government are Nazis. The Nazis are the worst thing I can evoke to you. What are you going to do about it? That is the implication. But at the same time, it is said in such a way that if somebody were to point a finger, why did you say that? That could get people killed, and indeed recently did. They go, but I didn't tell them to do anything.
Right. That's interesting. Boog came. He says, how many rights are you willing to lose to ban everyone under 18 from the internet? Where is the line? Because I'd be willing to give up a lot to never be exposed to a kid's opinion.
I mean, like, Boog is probably joking, but he is right. Like, because at the end of the day, we are going to have to give up something if we want to track people on the internet, to the point of making sure that people under a certain age can't gain access to the internet. Unless we're going to be like, okay, if you as the parents allow your kid on the internet, we're just going to fine you or something like that. And even that's not going to be perfect. But with all of the damage that the internet, social media is doing to young people, with all of the potential for radicalization that is happening on the internet, it's one of those things where we might have to realize that we are not living in the 90s anymore, and that we do need to have a serious look at how dangerous social media is and how it radicalizes a population. Now, then you can immediately wander into the question also of, but doesn't the schools radicalize people? And well, yeah, all too often. So,
well, I'll say this. I think that if you look at, like I said, I like to look at data. Data is very intriguing to me. And when you see the uptick in radicalization with a direct correlation between social media use, starting around 2008 and kind of this divide happening, and really when social media started taking off, 2008, 2009 to today, I mean, we have 17 years of data, 18 years of data when it comes to social media use for kids. Literally, somebody who was born when social media started, they're now a legal adult. They've literally grown their entire life. I've always said that I am extremely lucky. I am of this generation that grew up, had an entire childhood without any internet. And then I was slowly drip introduced it through AOL. AOL, you get an hour at a time, right? And every minute that you were on was like a big deal, right? So it's, slowly dripped to where my life has grown as the internet has grown. So I'm like that last generation that truly got a childhood that wasn't more or less corrupted by data. And the only data I had was by going outside or playing sports or whatever. And I am eternally grateful for that. So,
and it's like, I know with kids and stuff, we're at the point where kids will get bullied for not having a cell phone, for not having this or that. It's like with my kid, she has a cell phone, but she has no interest on having any social media whatsoever. She doesn't even like pictures of her being taken because she doesn't want herself out there at all. Which is like, I know she's responsible, but I still keep an eye on her. She has a Discord, but it's connected to the Discord family thing, so I know who she adds, who she talks to, what servers she's in. But she only talks to her friends that she knows from school. But there's also cell phones that look like a smartphone, act like a smartphone, but there's no social media apps installed on it. You can't install social media apps on it. It's like parents can control what their kids do or download on their phones. But a lot of them are just lazy. They just give their kid the newest iPhone, newest Android, and they're like, here you go, you're not my problem.
Yes, there's a lot of actually. My 13-year-old has what's called a dumb phone, where it looks like a traditional phone, but we control every aspect of it. How much time she has on it, the amount of time, the amount of text she can do a day, what apps she can have, what she can't have, and the idea is to have that trickle. Like, we're not blind to the idea that the internet's around her. We want her to be exposed, or at least have an idea that it's there. But we also want to you don't want to just open the fucking floodgates and have your kid be overwhelmed by essentially evil and social media on there. So yeah, there's that's been a really good now. And I will say this: there is she got grounded recently and she didn't have her phone for a week, and she was like, "Look, I felt so much better when I didn't have my phone." But she also wanted it back as soon as she possibly could have it.
Yeah.
So
it's like, I know when I was younger, my parents were super strict and not letting me do shit. But my mom let me have access to her laptop, and that's when I discovered the joy of live leak and shock sites. And I also got groomed like twice. Almost got kidnapped in Washington, D.C., but I ran out of minutes on my phone, so that didn't happen.
Wow, that's crazy. That is nuts. Well, that's pretty hardcore.
I mean,
Lumi is a living reminder that no child should ever be given access to the internet.
Shut up. I learned my lessons on being groomed and not getting kidnapped, and now I can share those lessons with my kid on, hey, don't get groomed and don't almost get kidnapped.
It was a different time, Lumi. It was.
It was.
Oh my God. Hey, Hero Sword P says, as a Mexican, I will fight the idiot who called a hot dog a taco. I will not accept the sacrilege against real Mexican street tacos. Thank you, Hero Sword P. Appreciate your bravery. Al says, Subway bread is legally cake in Ireland because of all the sugar in it. They lost a legal tax claim wanting to be tax exempt as essential food. Thanks, Al. We have this from Christopher. It says, canned mackerel in tomato sauce is great as spread on rye bread, or you mix it with hard-boiled egg on.
Yeah, that's the thing.
No,
hard-boiled egg and mayo. We have I told you that our mayo Yeah, I've shown you the mayo in the plastic bag, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
It can't be worse than milk in a bag.
So yeah, crushed mackerel and tomato sauce with hard-boiled eggs and mayonnaise.
This is what you eat when you don't have grocery stores, right? Like, are you still getting your first grocery store out there, Arch? Like, is this a thing? You still got to go out and hunt for your food and grow your own vegetables. Somehow you have internet that you can stream to, but you don't have access to grocery stores.
Well, that's one of the weird things. Like, actually, there are more supermarkets per capita in Norway than virtually anywhere else on the globe because we love our shopping centers and grocery stores. We have them all over the place. But our government places such heavy tariffs on other nations' produce that we basically only have Norwegian goods. And other people's goods are only in specialized stores. And incidentally, the only reason I have internet is because I had to dig a 4-kilometer canal to get it installed.
Okay. I bet you're being totally honest about that too, which is great. Hey, give it up for 2 scoops of Brazen, who came in with the $50 super chat. Says, "Oh, Arch and Loom are here. Is it? Do you like to say? Is it Lum or Loom?
You can either just call me Loomy or Lum Lum. Most people just call me a Lum Lum because that's what Arch calls me.
Yum yum.
That's the pet name he gave me is Lum Lum.
That's nice. It says,
I
who's
have
next?
largely defined Loomy as a person.
Shut up, Arch.
Why don't you guys just fucking get it over with? Golly, it's crazy. It says, who's next? Agama. I don't. Who is
Amalgamite. That's his other pet VTuber.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Maybe more people can tell Amalgamite that she could make actual friends and maybe find a special partner in the online realm. Parasocialism doesn't mean you can't actually form connections via the internet. Hey, thank you so much, 2 scoops of Brazen, for that wonderful $50 super chat. That is spectacular. Gabriel says, I stopped caring about a European views on my rights in 1776. There you go, Gabriel. Marmalin says, people around Craig's age grew up with technology. The later generations grew up on technology. It is a massive difference. Thank you.
It is.
Mo says that I'm creepy as fuck for saying that. I was just giving you a hard time. That's all. Kevin says, Alec Berenson, although he has opinions I disagree with, was a huge crusader against censorship when it came to COVID, exposing the government for putting their boot on platforms to censor. Thank you, Kevin. Well, I think that's the thing is you don't have to agree with everybody on everything to know that someone's being fucked over on something. So let's go to continue here. Once again, we are about an hour behind, but we'll catch up, maybe, possibly.
Ranking Member Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to yield to my colleague for a second to make a statement, then I'll finish with my questions.
Thank you. I'll do my questions on the record because I have to leave, but I wasn't going to speak, and I appreciate Senator Cantwell's willingness to let me say a few words here, given what happened in my state this summer. First of all, I think Mr. Kimmelman knows that I've been out front on monopoly issues and antitrust and making sure that we have true competition in the marketplace, working with Senator Cruz and Senator Lee and Senator Kennedy and many others on that issue, and I continue to believe that it's a legitimate solution. Secondly, I think what happened with the chair of the FCC was wrong in the last month. I appreciated Senator Cruz being out front on it. I truly do, and calling it out. And I'm looking forward to that hearing to try to get some sense into what's going on there with not just the Jimmy Kimmel moment, but many others. Third, I think that the AI piece of this, and I'll ask some questions about this, but to me, it should not be that radical that we say, number one, that if speech is violent or it incites violence, that is different than other kinds of speech, but that with these AI videos where you can't even tell it's yourself or not, I had this experience at a hearing, that they could at least be labeled. It is always going to be litigation. It's over whether something is the violent side and the hate side or whether it is the legally, constitutionally allowed speech like parody. But at the very least, these videos should say something about prepared for by AI or digitally created. I just happened to be late on CNN last night, and Robin Williams' family was on one of the shows talking about how he's dead, and they've created AI videos that don't say digitally altered that people think are real. So people should have the right over their
Well, now they're just retarded people then. If you're seeing a video of Robin Williams like, I'm dead, perhaps, just perhaps, you'd be able to put two and two together, right?
Well, it depends, right? I'll say, and let me tell you
No,
why.
I will say, like, they definitely should have the little wording on it saying altered footage, AI, whatever, clarification. But, like, if you actually can't put two and two together, that's a you problem because you're retarded.
Okay, normally I would agree with you, but I was actually talking with Leaflet yesterday about this, and Leaflet was showing me all this AI stuff. I'll pull this up in just a second. We'll continue, but I do think this is an interesting conversation. Let me pull this up as an example first, but let's go continue.
Identity. And the last thing, when it comes to these horrific mass shootings and acts of violence, I have come to see it as all-purpose haters, which is something that the FBI actually said after the Annunciation church shooting in Minnesota, because that shooter actually hated President Trump in the manifesto, hated wokeness, hated Jews, hated Muslims, hated Hispanics, hated blacks, and shot these two little kids, Fletcher and Harper, through stained glass windows in a Catholic church. Then you go to the shooting of my dear friend, and I had a good discussion with FBI director.
The manifestos now. So, like, okay, he hated blacks, Jews, wokeism, right? Donald Trump. Are we sure these people aren't just batshit insane at this point?
Oh yeah, dude. I'm with you on that. Just fucking insane.
Like, I don't think this is a politically oriented shooting. I just think he's crazy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. All right, let me kind of show this to you, Blabs, really fast. Let's see. Let me pull this up really fast because this was a really. I was just tinkering with Leaflet last night, and we were giggling at some of the AI stuff that she was making. And I wanted to show you a video that I made in a matter of like 7 seconds. And I realized that it's Ronald Reagan, right? And I realized that it's, but if you don't know what you're looking at here, let me see, where are you? There you are. Let's see. If you don't know what you're looking at, this can be confusing to you, right? Looks like fucking Ronald Reagan.
You're asking me if I think it's confusing that a 2025 video of Ronald Reagan who's not on this earth anymore?
Right. But what I'm saying though, Blabs, is that you don't know. Somebody may look at this and not be able to tell that this wasn't recorded in 1982.
Look at the quality of it. Come on, let's just use some common sense and logic here.
Blabs, I get it, but this is version 0.1. This is still in beta, right? In 3 months
that's
from
right.
now,
It's widescreen.
in 3 months from now, this is going to be incredible. I'm just telling you. The idea of having an AI, I actually do think that having some sort of AI messaging, knowing that it was generated, I do think that there's some merit to having that conversation, at least. Because there will be situations, yes.
We will need some sort of legislation on AI because it's gotten a little bit too good. I don't know what that legislation is going to look like yet, but right now, you could easily create a video of some prominent person committing some crime, and unless there's a watermark or unless you take this to court and scrape it for metadata, you're not going to know. And if this is something that people already believe the worst of, like Trump, for example, doing something ridiculous, a lot of people will just run with it. And then the left wing on social media will go like, oh, the death squads have finally arrived. This is reporting out of California. Trump stormtroopers are going around and shooting illegals. A lot of people might go crazy before they double check that fact.
It's like, honestly, at this point with the, possible fake AI crimes, I can honestly give two shit about that. But right now, people are making AI kids commercials. And that's just like, funny little ha-ha things.
Yeah.
What's going to fucking happen when bad actors, well, granted, they already have their hands on this bullshit. They can face train to whatever famous kids that are out there and do despicable fucking things with it. I don't give a shit about the fake crimes. I give a shit about what the fuck are they going to do with this?
So look, we know this is not Stephen Hawking on the vert ramp at the X Games in 1997, but visually, it does look like something from 1997, just from the way it's shot, you know? And like, yes, this is
Stephen
awesome.
Hawking dropping in on the giant vert ramp. This is history. Picking up speed, rolling smooth. Look at this. He goes for the 9, 3 full quarters of a turn.
Okay, all I'm saying is we talked about this on the show. If it stops here, everybody can tell, right? But it's not. We all know it's not going to stop here. It's going to continue. So having some sort like the Sora watermark on this is like the only thing that I think some people will be like, oh, okay, that's AI, right? Because there's going to be an entire generation that's going to grow up with this shit, you know? And look, George Washington over here has a message. So make sure you guys listen to George.
Sign up for Side Scrollers Plus. It's great, and I never tell a lie.
See, like, how great is that? Like, I think if George Washington is telling you things, right? It's important for you guys to follow up. By the way, use promo code George. Gabriel says, don't take my Stephen Hawking videos. That's right, Gabriel. I'm with you on that. Jonathan came in and says, the game behind Reagan is not from 1984. Maybe. That's right, Jonathan. Thank you. And Massive Doge says, hey, boss, can you ask Lum if there's a council of Lumi out there considering it is common VTuber name? Is there a council out there?
The fact that there's so many Lumi VTubers out there makes me just want to change my branding to just Lum. Just Lum everything.
Yes. Be defined by the name I made for you.
Shut up, Arch. The fact that your narratives about me are just far more popular and known than my actual fucking life. It's like I can go to just some random YouTuber's live stream and I'll just say, oh, hi. First 10 messages. Oh my God, it's the footfish. You little shit.
Tenarian says, congrats to Lum for making it to the top 3 of my favorite list of VTubers called Lumi out of 5. The number one Lumi is, by the way, an Australian girl who does German only streams because she wants to learn the language that bad. There you go, Tenarian. Thanks. It's wonderful. And we have this from Marksman says, Arch, invite Craig and Blabs to sit in on Lum's reading of Minotaur Milking Farm with Amal.
I'm afraid.
Lumi did buy a copy of for herself. Footfish really likes her hoofs. The arch bull menaces the footfish. I don't even know what I'm reading right now. Thank you, Marksman. Appreciate that.
Stay ignorant.
I will. Let's go. Let's keep going here.
Patel about this in judiciary. He lost his friend Charlie Kirk, and we mourn that. And we lost our friend Melissa Hortman. That shooter literally had a manifesto or ramblings that targeted mostly, in fact, all Democratic office holders, and he went to the houses of the people that he knew the addresses, and the ones that he didn't, he wasn't able to go to. He went after law firms, businesses, went after Planned Parenthood, and then left a actual letter saying that he did it because he was supposed to assassinate me, which is on X about every 5 minutes with my name with assassination, which I think
She's
is
too
completely
emotional.
not a good.
Blah. You're muted.
Let's find out. Let's find out if she's right, by the way. She says it's on X constantly every 5 minutes. I'm just curious. I'm not saying she's lying, but let me just do a quick, let's see, assassinate, what is it? Klobuchar? How do you spell it? I can't read that. Let's see.
It says Klobuchar.
Okay, I'm just curious. Let's just see what this looks like here. Let's see. Here is this is from June 20th. I mean, I'm sure it feels like it's every 5 minutes. These are all from June 20th. Let's just go to latest here. See here, 21 hours ago. Yeah, so it's not like every 5 minutes like she actually says it is. It's not being literal, but I'm sure it feels that way. I don't want to anytime somebody tells they're going to kill you, I'm sure that's pretty fucked up. So especially if they have it written down. But just curious. Yeah, she is being extremely emotional here. So
the amusing thing is, of course, that the social media account it curates itself after what you interact with the most. And this is one of those weird things where if she's seeing a death threat or whatever, a threat of violence, and she's like, oh my God, that's terrifying. She clicks on it, looks at it, then that will tell the algorithm, oh, hey, you like that, did you? Let me show you some more.
Yeah, I hope my my algorithm doesn't go crazy with assassinate Klobuchar tweets. That's bad
That
news.
guy in the back behind her is giving her like the evil eye.
At least he's not wearing a mask.
You little stank guy right there.
Let's go.
Day 367.
Yeah.
She still hasn't realized I'm behind all of the threats.
I'm writing all those tweets.
If you were to watch this like yesterday, the same type of thing, he's a little bit further behind, and like in 3 weeks, he's going to be right behind her.
Right? But I can't get it off. So the point of all this is that to say it's one side or then another, when you look at the Cato Institute report that came out this year of this extremism and what's triggering these
Here's the both sides argument.
Basically mad murderers to commit these acts, whether it's in the Michigan temple or whether it is Charlie Kirk in Utah. I just don't think it is the right approach to be like it's one side or the other. These people have been targeted in their heads, and they go out and create these mass crimes. And it's on us to figure out what's triggering them and actually do something about it instead of playing the blame game. One of my answers is an assault weapon ban, or at least 21 years and under. That would have helped in Uvalde, Buffalo, Parkland, doing something about this instead of just blaming each other. Thank you.
Okay, but here's the
Senator-
thing. This is exactly my point about retribution right here, because we were only blaming one side. It was just the right. The right was the only ones receiving consequences. Now that the left is receiving consequences, the left is being banned, suddenly it's, oh God, we've got to be really careful about who we blame. Good. Suffer. Ingrained that upon your soul until it's more than just a platitude you trot out.
Total, I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about here, but this is interesting as I just scrolled over this. Today we announced the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht on a criminal complaint charging him with maliciously starting what became the Palisades fire in January. So those big fires in Los Angeles, this is the guy who started them.
He looks like an arsonist.
I just find that really interesting that they actually found the guy. That's crazy. Among the evidence that was collected from his digital devices was an image he generated on ChatGPT depicting a burning city. Good Lord. Okay. Sorry. Just what a weird side
Does
note.
it say why he did it?
Because he wanted to jerk off to it.
Like, was it like climate change? I help.
Initial appearance. I guess he's going to be scheduled for. Why is he appearing in U.S. District Court in Orlando? Like, why is that weird?
Maybe he's from Florida.
Yeah, I don't know. Why would he be starting in L.A.? I don't know.
Special needs. I don't know.
Sure.
Thank you, Senator Schmidt. Mr. Davis, government censorship in the name of fact-checking is an unacceptable trampling on our democratic values. Knowing what we know now, how should social media companies respond if the government comes to them to deplatform users based on their political opinions? What's your suggestion?
That's a great question. Thank you for raising it. If I
the
can wave a
opposite
magic
of an assault weapons ban. Don't ban assault weapons. Make them mandatory for social media officials for when the government steps by.
Wait, what? What'd you say? Say that again, Arch.
Listen, I mean, the quickest way of fixing it. Don't ban assault weapons. Make it necessary for all social media companies to own them when the FBI steps by. That would have made Facebook's conversation over the Hunter Biden laptop, there you go, a very different thing entirely.
Retromeister said, I don't even know where to go with that, but thank you, Arch. I'm trying to process what you just said. It says, this whole thing reminds me of the 90s with violence in media. Parents once again run to government to parent their kids instead of the parents being parents. Stop blaming the product and take accountability. Thank you, Retromeister. I'm with you on that. We got this from Zelvania, says, what Blabs doesn't seem to understand is that AI can be used to stir people up who are already unhinged. You think wrong information is bad now. George Floyd will become small compared to what's to come.
I'd like to counter that. I never said that. And I also agreed at the very, very start that AI needs to have a little watermark or something to show that it's not real. So, debunked. But thank you for the 10.
Jonathan says, I did not start any fires with that park. Also with Blabs. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate that. But you did eat your tuna on cheese. Tamamo says, doing this here because no idea how to do supers on local. Am I the only person that has cereal for breakfast? Love my crunchy nuts and cereal milk with the honey from the Crunchies nuts. Mahong. Thank you, Tamamo. I don't eat cereal anymore. But I used to. I like it's a rare treat for me. We do have a wonderful celebration as we have hit our first Montez goal today. How outstanding is that? Guys, if you're just popping in, we went live a couple hours early. We went live with the intention of watching the Dan Clancy grilling by Congress, apparently. Anyways, that got moved to 2 o'clock, which is still a couple hours from now. So we just went live. We've been hanging out and looking at this hearing on social media censorship. And we're going to probably parlay that right into the 2 o'clock hearing, which I'll be here all day. We'll see how this goes. But obviously, Lum and Archie can come and go as they see fit. Do you like that I called you Archie, or do you want to punch me in the stomach?
I feel like I am both far too old and far too distinguished to have a diminutive name like that. That's why it works with Lum, because, look at her, Lum.
I call you Archley all the time, and you don't even bat an eye at it. You just
this
let
is
it happen.
True. That's how lovely you DM'd me, Archley.
Yep.
By the way,
that's a special exception.
Great White says Craig doesn't know what a tuna melt is. I do know what a tuna melt is. I just prefer not to acknowledge tuna as it's disgusting and smells horrible. On the good side of things, let's celebrate with a little bit of Montez.
Round 1, fight.
Bitch.
Fatality.
All right. Let's continue on this here as we got an hour still left of this. But I'm curious if anything will come from this. Once again, appreciate you guys popping in, hanging out with us throughout the day. Hit the thumbs up button wherever you're tuning in, and obviously follow if you're watching over on Rumble, if you're watching over on Kick, live all day. It's great stuff. By the way, speaking of being live all day, coming up in 2 weeks, we're going to have our first ever Side Scrollers. It was a subathon, but we're changing it to a fund-a-thon, where we're looking to fund our ideas through 2026. With your help, we'll give you more information about that. We'll be live 24 hours a day for 5 days, starting Monday, October 20th. And they're going to have a lot of fun special guests. They're going to be there. So that's going to be in 2 weeks from now. We'll be live. It's going to be kind of like Side Scrollers IRL. Going to be really, really good. So hopefully you guys hang out with us for that. Let's continue.
And create a solution or a response there. What I would say is anytime a government goes to a social media platform, Google, YouTube, Twitter, whatever, and they tell someone you need to take this down because it's hate speech or misinformation or whatever fancy label they want to throw on speech they don't like, first off, those tech companies should tell them to take a hike. We don't censor anyone. We're a platform. We're not a content company. And then number two, I think they should have to disclose it to the public and the people who were targeted. I would love to have known in 2020 who was actually behind the censorship of me and my colleagues. We knew we were being censored because we watched it happen. We saw our posts disappear. We saw ourselves being shadow banned. We didn't actually know why. I would say to this day, we don't actually understand the full extent of the government effort to censor us. So I think there should be full disclosure following an absolute denial of any sort of censorship demands from government. It's totally inappropriate.
Thank you. Mr. Barron.
I agree with him 100%. If you've been censored, if someone turns the light switch off, you need to know who flipped the switch. I 100% agree with that. So.
I thank you for sharing your experience of being deplatformed by Twitter. It's a valuable story for us to hear. You spoke of a huge influence that you witnessed between Twitter and the White House at the time back in 2020, and you described your understanding that the company's lobbyists hoped to keep the White House target off their back. Can you explain specifically what your understanding of that target was, and are you aware of any specific threats that were made?
Sure. So in July 2021, as the Biden administration was preparing vaccine mandates, and that's sort of what you have to understand about the backdrop here, and they knew that those might be politically unpopular, they started pressuring the companies to deplatform people like me. I mean, they've been doing this, but they upped the pressure. And that's when President Biden said that Facebook was, quote unquote, killing people by allowing people like me or RFK Jr. to speak. And you know, the biggest legal protection that social media companies have is what's called Section 230, as I'm sure you know, where they're essentially immune from lawsuits from users over the decisions they make for content. So they have all the immunity of a traditional publisher to make decisions over what speech they want to carry.
Did the White House...
Can we stop for a second and say, like, think about what he just said. The idea that Facebook was saying that people were dying because of RFK Jr. being able to speak, right? And fast forward 4 years, and RFK Jr. is your lead official when it comes to health. You can see why people are so fucking insane. And like they've been told that people will die when this person speaks, period. And now he's one of the most powerful people in health 4 years later. So you can totally see why they're freaking out.
Yep. And on the topic of Section 230 as well, like that is one of those things that it's a complicated situation, because on the one hand, YouTube should not be able to be sued for what somebody says on YouTube, because that would make YouTube need to have even stricter regulations, and it's just not reasonable, right? On the other hand, YouTube also uses that as a power to defend their editorial decisions, where they go, oh, we can't be held responsible because we deplatformed you because we're a platform, even as we make editorial decisions to remove you. Even in the official legal documents, YouTube has claimed on literally one page of the case to be a platform, and then on the next that they made the editorial decision to deplatform somebody else. So right now, the problem is that the platforms are having their cake and eating it too. And like so much of this could be solved if we just had some gentlemen's agreements. Like if YouTube simply understood that, okay, we are giving you this legal protection because we don't want you to be sued for anything anybody says on your platform, but you can't then abuse it to deplatform people. If YouTube would just stick to that, we would have no problem. But it seems impossible to expect anybody to not behave like a douchebag.
Well, the idea of a gentleman's agreement, I think that's been thrown out the window the last few years, right? That's like a really cute idea. That you would just, well, we're not going to do that because that's not how gentlemen act. They can't even describe what a gentleman is. How are you supposed to have a gentleman's agreement?
Yeah, and like that's the problem, because any system we come up with is going to have contradictions. It's going to have rules and ideas that don't quite work if you apply certain ideas. It's like the argument between ancient Greek philosophers, define a man, right? And they go like, well, bipedal, hairless thing, right? And they bring up a chicken. Behold, a man, because they plucked his feathers and now it's a man. There needs to be an understanding between the parties that they can't behave like rampant fucking assholes. An understanding that has, as you say, long since evaporated.
Right. Let's continue.
Do you have any kind of information or records? Did the White House specifically say what they would do to Twitter?
Well, so they specifically, well, they publicly said that they were going to reconsider Section 230. That was, again, in July. And they had privately said to Twitter in April, they had, based on Twitter's own records, said a really, quote unquote, a really hard question about why I was still being allowed to speak, which from my point of view, my lawyer's point of view, that all by itself was a First Amendment violation because it forced Twitter to start looking at me in a way that Twitter had not previously done, and that was in secret. And and I'll say this.
And again, there was no transparency.
No transparency
that Mr. Davis spoke in.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I don't like what Brendan Carr did, but he did it publicly, and we can have a debate about it. What's really problematic is when the government goes in secret to these companies and targets individual users or individual categories of speech. And I think that shouldn't be allowed. I think that both parties should agree that targeting an individual user or an individual post, as if it's legal, is wrong. And nobody's ever said that I said anything illegal. And actually, I think most people now would agree that a lot of what I said has been confirmed. So I think that that's a pretty basic place to start.
Thank you. Mr. Bullock, you mentioned a reporting mechanism that might be a promising idea for companies that think the government is coercing them. Can you describe to the committee how such a mechanism might have prevented a situation that Mr. Berenson just described, and how would you structure that mechanism?
Sure. Light is the best disinfectant. There may, in fact, be certain kinds of requests to remove something that might be justifiable in certain situations if they're not coercive, but they're just kind of appeal to somebody's better instincts. Maybe, maybe not. But presumably, it's something that members of this committee, that other members of Congress might be interested in, that reporters for newspapers might say, well, here's a list of all of these things that the government has been asking that people remove. Is it justifiable or not? Is it excessive? Does it show political bias? That's impossible to do if it's all essentially corporate secrets and government secrets.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. Everything that we want to see, none of these corporations will ever turn over, ever. And they'll, it's why would we do this? We're a private company. Well, even if they're a public company, maybe there's some sort of loophole in there that could get it. But yeah, we're never going to see that information ever. White Wolf says, I like to shout out Jake Monroe, a rock and goth homeboy who has been canceled and wages war on the modern audiences. All right, well, shout out to Jake right there.
Oh, I love Jake. His stuff is great.
Sujat says, are devs ears burning right now? And AJ came back, says, no quarter for those who would give us no quarter. We warned them the tide would turn and the rules would be applied to them. They ignored us. Let them feel the consequences of their actions. Thank you, AJ. Xylon came back, says, Section 230 should only be applied if there's no terms of service. There you go. And Marvelin says, they found and arrested climate change? I was told it was Trump and climate change. Talking about the California flyer there. That's good. I'm glad they did find the climate change that did it, which is good. All right, let's go and continue here.
I'm picking up on Senator Klobuchar's, I'm over time, can I finish? Thank you. Senator Klobuchar was saying she's worried, as I think many of us are, with AI and things that are happening there, and at least to get a label, do any of you know, are these social media companies, any of these companies capable of doing that, to be able to identify when something's been tampered with AI, or if it's totally false, to be able to do that?
Okay.
Well, that's actually an interesting question, because right now, YouTube was actually quite good and quick when it came to demonetizing AI content, which makes it a lot less interesting to start pumping it out in the thousands, right? But right now, our solution to detecting AI is to use other AI. And so we're in this ridiculous arms race where we humans are completely worthless. We're just trying to program robots to fool other robots and other robots to not be fooled by the other robots.
That's a really good point. Well, we're fucked. There we are. That's good. That's hilarious.
Right. So I think that is a separate question, but a very important question. There is what you're asking, I think, is the technical question, which is even if they were just to do it on their own, can they do it? So my understanding is that there are ways of determining that. They're hard to do at scale. So perhaps a forensic examiner might look at a video, but it doesn't mean that you can have an algorithm that will reliably do it, and there's going to be false positives and false negatives. There's also always going to be an arms race, right? If there's a better fake technology, better detector technology, better fake technology that evades the detector technology. I'm not up on all the details, but my understanding is right now there is no guaranteed reliable mechanism of determining.
Then maybe you get into the whole question also on what's comedy, what's satire, it opens up a whole another avenue then.
You know the thing about this though, what's interesting is that everything they're talking about, it's out there. We just don't have access to it yet. The government has it, right? The military has it. They have all this AI technology. The internet was there for years before it was used internally, before it was a publicly made available resource, right? That's how it is with all technology. It's used by the government first, then it's deemed acceptable and available for everybody else. So yeah, the idea of the government asking some guy, well, do we have this? Yes, of course you have that technology. 1000%. Christopher says, Say, Lumi, is your favorite Subway a foot long with some foot cheese? And unlike the Norwegians, we have some of our mayo in tubes, which is nice and easy for storage. Look up Swedish shrimp sandwich or sandwich cake. Christopher, I don't ever want to read a super chat again about foot cheese.
Arch, you looked so proud of yourself as Craig was reading that.
You're
Gotta
gonna
be
have
honest.
to keep Lum Lum off then, because she just can't help herself with the feet.
A shrimp sandwich sounds fantastic, though.
I don't even know what that means. Archie says, will you be doing any of the hearing exclusively on Rumble? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. We're going to be doing some exclusive stuff today. We always do over on Rumble. I don't know if we're going to do that because you guys have been very patient with us over on YouTube and Rumble. Obviously, we got a lot of folks watching on Rumble and YouTube. And we're going to get to that bad boy. Once again, for those of you just popping in, we were going to be watching the Dan Clancy hearing this morning. That got moved to 2 o'clock Central, which is 2 hours from now. So we're watching this hearing on social media censorship. And we're glad you're with us today. So hang with us. We're going to be with you guys all day. We appreciate you guys popping in. Let's hit another Montez goal, man. We've been kicking ass today, which is great. Cajun Corey says, Vin Diesel only eats 2 meals a day, breakfast and Breck Furious.
Breakfast.
Thank you. Aramis says, happy birthday, Phoenix. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And thank you for spending a bit of it with us. Phoenix isn't with us today. And
it's not his birthday.
Every day is Phoenix's birthday, which is great.
It's also true.
Jacob says, any chance we have an empty chair react today? No, I'm not Hasan Piker. Kai says, I'm blue. Thank you, Kai. Appreciate your 90s sweet hits right there. John says, she makes them grilled cheese at night. That's Blabs, the grilled cheese maker. Thank you, John. Mercenary says, morning, guys. You're up early. I didn't expect that. I've been up since 7. So, yeah, I've had grilled cheese. And to your thing yesterday, I treat everyone the same as well. Thank you, Mercenary. He followed up, says, and by treating everyone equally, I mean, I hate everyone absolutely equally. The only one I do not hate is God. Him, I just want to give a hug and tell him thank you for putting us here. All right. Says, also, from here on out, I'm watching on Rumble instead of YouTube, including the supers, since they're no longer letting me see or even message you without censorship. Ironic, isn't it? That's awesome. Good. Well, thank you for that. That's great. Book says, ban everyone under 18 off the internet. It will instantly become a better place.
It probably will.
Not wrong. Young Stuff says, I want to see the Twitch CEO shiver his timbers.
God, I want to see in the halls of U.S. Congress, just like, did you comment on a woman giving birth in a stream? Yes.
Right.
Does one of your top streamers regularly shock his dog for no reason? Yes.
Yes. That'd be awesome. Boog says the Twitch CEO asked the hearing to be moved because he was busy watching a live birth on Twitch. I'm half joking. Guess which is the half joke. Thank you, Boog.
Hey guys, can we put this off a little bit? I'm watching a woman give birth on Twitch, and
right.
Considering this guy also has been criticized for apparently being very pervy around the female talents, you can add 1 and 1 together and get barf.
Oh yeah, no joke. Disgusting. All right, we'll get to dog shock gate here in a little bit. We'll get to that. But let's continue here.
That's absolutely right. There certainly is no software you can write that says, oh, this is obvious parody, and therefore it shouldn't be taken down.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Cantwell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you.
There's another problem too, right? Okay, let's say that we figure out an AI that can detect AI, right? So if it's on YouTube, then you know it's real, right? Then somebody makes an AI that can't be detected, and now there's something up on there. It's like, oh, well, this is a trusted source. This must be real. And now we've added extra veracity to the fake because we think we can detect the fake. This entire AI thing is just going to fuck our entire civilization.
At this point, I think I would rather take the Indians I could hardly understand than AI eating itself.
Let's continue.
Professor Volek, for both the statement you made about Brendan Carr's coercive tactics and that wouldn't be appropriate, and for your recommendations on transparency and rules that I think would be a concept of just making sure that things were clear. And to my colleague's comment Senator Klobuchar, one of the reasons I appreciate many things she said, but one of the reasons I support the Blackburn legislation and joined her as a co-sponsored on the Copied Act is because it gives the content holders some rights, and it shows who the content holders are, and even in the case of compensation, which is an important issue to keeping competition and perfect information. I will just note that during this debate, this committee and this body passed a public health emergency language related to deceptive practice language. It was unlawful to engage in deceptive practices related to the treatment, cure, prevention, mitigation, or diagnosis related to COVID. Why did we do that? Why did we give that extra power? Because there were a lot of crazy things online, like take bleach or what have you. And we wanted to make sure that we were being protecting consumers against deceptive practices as it related to that. That was passed in a very, very big bipartisan support by by the Senate and became law. Okay, so now to this, Mr. Kimmel, this larger issue. Even my colleague from the House, who was chairman of the China committee, I see doesn't like the TikTok decision because he doesn't think it goes far enough and banning, the actual algorithm. We have this attempt by CAR to kind of realign the deck chairs at this moment that we have competition.
Hey, Blabs, will you do me a favor? Can you find out how much these people are paid to do this as ranking members of whatever this is? I'm just curious, like what their salary is.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for her name to come back up.
Okay,
so
I'm just curious. Arch, how much do you think they make per year?
100 grand, probably. Easy.
Lum.
I'd probably say 100 to 150 grand.
So, according to AI Overview, a ranking member in Congress is typically the most senior member of the minority party of a congressional committee. Their salary is the same as other rank and file members, as leadership positions on committees do not include additional compensation. As of October 2025, the annual salaries for congressional members are: ranking members and most rank and file members are $174,000.
Okay, 174K.
I wish I got paid $174K to talk out my ass.
Right. And so they go, so tell me, what is your problem? And then they say, well, this is, and like, wow, what a great gig. What a great gig. 174K plus insider trading. Man, let's go. Come on. What are we doing here? This is great. All right. Let's see. Hopefully this picks up a little bit. If it doesn't pick up, we're going to switch over to Hasan talk here and Doggate. Let's see.
Shrinking. And so that's why it's so concerning to me. And the unevenness, we had a hearing here, Facebook whistleblower who literally said the company knew that it was elevating hate speech as a way to increase the revenue for advertisers. And, I feel like that's, if a newspaper or a broadcaster puts false information in the paper, the community will respond, and that person will no longer be able to continue their business. But online, you don't even know that that's happening.
Okay, so here. Okay, this goes back to the hate speech. Really, all hate speech is speech that I hate. That's really all it is, right? The idea of a newspaper being held accountable or a traditional media outlet being held accountable is legitimately laughable, right? Go back to the early days of printed media when it came to newspapers. There's an old saying, I've said it a million times: if it bleeds, it leads, right? This is a classic saying in the journalism world. This is your managing editor will say this: the idea that people are drawn to negativity way more than positivity. You have a story of a man burning down a building with a fire and 60 people dying, or a puppy being saved from the train tracks. You're going to go with the fire because it draws eyes. So this idea of traditional media outlets being held accountable is kind of laughable because it's been that way since the beginning of literally media. So, all right, let's go ahead and continue. Blabs will be back in just a second. She's going to take a little power break to keep going here.
And so making sure that we don't have, these challenges. What do we need to do to really get people to understand that that right now you could, in a very in a very vertical way, have such an alignment that influence that we're talking about now of not being coercive is actually done in major ways, even as my Republican colleague in the House is saying he's concerned about this as it relates to what TikTok might be doing.
Well, Senator Cantwell, I think it's a critical issue because as the technology has changed, the entire media landscape has changed. So I think we have to update our understanding of where is the excess power being used, how is it being used. These examples you've heard today all relate to a gatekeeper in the media landscape that is a tech company. We haven't always thought of them as being part of the same ecosystem, and I think we need to do that. Because if you have such enormous power over the major ways in which the public gets news, information.
Yeah, I'm with Sir Spam a lot. I feel like this is all just like white noise at this point. You guys want to keep going to this, or you want to move on to something else? Because we'll come back here in a little bit with this if you guys want to stick around or not, whatever. You guys want to talk about some other stuff? Because I do.
Yeah, we could talk about Hasan being Hasan. So
okay.
As much as I would love to hang around for the Turk grilling his dog, which is a sentence I can legally say now. I gotta go get myself ready for more Alien Isolation because horror games stress me the fuck out. So I need.
Sounds good.
Are you going to disable the mod that was making the game a little too easy for you, Arch?
In fact, I'm going to allow chat to donate for putting it on the hardest difficulty, and we'll see how that goes out.
So wait, you're playing Alien Isolation right now?
Yes.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That game's great.
It's an awful little game.
You don't like it? It scares you?
Well, the thing is, like, once I realized that if you just walk everywhere, you're mostly safe. Then it's not that bad. It's just that every time the alien actually does appear, you're basically boned. So,
yeah, that is true. That is true. Yes. Well, Arch, by all means, get prepped for that. We're going to stick here. Lum, you're more than welcome to stay if you like, or if you want to follow Arch, you're more than welcome as well. So
I will stick around till at least Blabs gets back because I have to get ready for work.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for that. Arch, appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
Right,
I'll see you later.
Bye,
Sounds good. See you, Arch. The greatness of Arch. Tamamo says, behind on stream, go to kids on internet. Started Final Fantasy 14 in 2014, got stalked and groomed. People are freaky. Wow, was trash talking. Final Fantasy 14 is snakes and backstabbers and preds. Thank you, Tamamo. Sorry about that, dude. That sucks. All right, let's go. Lum. Have you been following the saga that is Hasan Piker?
I like to attempt to forget he exists, but then he always shows back up, and then I'm like, how is he not in jail yet?
Well, he's going to be a big part of the conversation today, I believe, when it comes to the congressional oversight hearing thing at 2:00. But there's another controversy here when it comes to Hasan Piker, and that is centered around his dog. This happened just recently, where his dog was shocked while sitting right here. But shock, by the way, it's very clearly a shock collar here. But let's just see what happens here.
In the same positive association with Israel. So all this does is breed resentment against Israel. And also, depending on how in the same positive association with Israel.
It's not the actual video, but it shows the shock the actual shock collar there. It's actually, I think the best way to see it is actually a video by H3H3 from Ethan Klein. He has the example here. Let's go see this.
Many of you guys know that I'm a dog lover, and there are a few things that horrify me more than people that abuse their animals. These are precious creatures that need us and depend on us, and abusing that trust is such a horrible crime. A clip of Hasan Piker is going viral right now of him shocking his dog Kaya for taking one step off of her mat. Let's take a look.
Such a first world problem, but it is emblematic of all of America's much more consequential violence. Okay? It's the same reason as to why America, Kaya, please just fucking go, just stop. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? You're being such a baby.
I always found it bizarre how Kaya, who's this young, energetic puppy, stayed in 1 square foot of Hasan's room, right in sight of camera, almost like just a prop in his room. Well, now we know why. He's using extreme austerity measures to shock and abuse his animal and then blaming her, getting mad at her for him hurting her.
That's pretty fucked up. Pretty fucked up, to say the least.
It's like I don't like shock collars. It's like but you can honestly tell he has that thing set way too high if it has the dog yelping like that. Because my aunt and uncle had little shock collars for their dogs when they would be out in the yard because they didn't have a fence, so they had the yellow electric border and everything.
Yeah.
Never once heard any of their dogs yelp. And also, like, why is that dog restricted to just that corner of the room? Not allowed to walk around, not allowed to just say, "Oh, hi," type of thing. Like, my cat just hopped into my lap and is just being a little shit wanting attention. But I'm not saying, "Hey, no, get out of here." Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's a real shitty thing to do, especially if he's using it as a prop, as suggested here. Apparently, XQC does a play-by-play, the slow-mo here, saying there's a 98% chance it's shock collar. Yes, it's definitely a shock collar. A dog doesn't just like yelp for no reason, especially yelp like that, right? But here we go. This is more like damning evidence that this guy's just a giant piece of shit. You don't like. Here's the irony of all this, Lum, is that you have a guy who can't tell you what a woman is, right? And will advocate for just crazy things to do to kids, right? Just totally mangling their bodies for human rights, whatever. But and people will ignore it. But if this is what gets him banned on Twitch for the dog collar, like this is what's getting people really upset is dogs. You don't fuck with dogs. It's crazy. Here we go. This is him talking about dog collars in the past here, and specifically this lady here who thought the collar that was on the dog was a little too tight.
And now it's mainstream. I love her. I think her collar is too tight.
Well, it's here we get.
It's you have to be able to get 2 fingers, and I couldn't even get one. I think you're choking her.
She's like, it's she has a lot of neck meat.
Did you see her look? She was like, "You fucking asshole."
Oh, that's some fucking bullshit. Because it's like, I'm sure anyone who's owned a dog knows that you should be able to get 2 fingers under the collar just in case if your dog is choking, you need to cut it off if it gets caught on something, shit like that. I don't know.
There's more here. This is from Tectone.
Oh no.
Right here.
Just such a lib ass, like, oh, dude, please don't get a Frenchie.
By the way, look at him. The dog is an emote on his channel. It's a notification, right? That's why he has it in the corner here. You know, it's literally a prop.
Just read a Vox article talking about how problematic they are. Like, I don't give a fuck. I know they have breathing problems. I know they're incredibly fucking inbred. I don't give a shit. I know. I don't care. Like, I don't give a shit. This is a dog. It's
a dog. It's a dog.
Oh, God.
We have this as well. This is actually a photo of him out there. Pay attention to the collar here. Do you see what's going on?
I know exactly what type of collar that is. My dad used to have one for one of our old pets. And it's like I get why some people have them, but it's not right.
What is the logic behind having a collar that has spikes going into the dog's neck?
So essentially, it's supposed to be used as kind of like a training collar but for when you bring your dogs out for a walk to show that they shouldn't be pulling on you too much.
Okay.
Then eventually, they'll learn, hey, it hurts when I pull too much. I'll stop that type of thing. But that's a little too far for my taste. What I did with my dogs before I moved out is that I got one of those vests, the ones that would go over their front leg and it would snap in the back. I got one of those because it's just a lot better in my opinion.
Huh. Okay. Well, the reaction to this has been obviously like this is you don't fuck with dogs. You just don't fuck with dogs. I don't think it's really like it's that like my mom said this best. My mom said, we have all these things going on in our life. And this always resonated with me. She goes, we have all these things going on in our life. We got work, we got school, we got kids, we got sports. We got to figure out all these things going on. Your dogs have one thing. You. That's it. They look at you and you are their life. They want to be around you at all times, right? They love you unconditionally, right? And to treat your dog like this is the worst. Like, what an absolute horrible piece of trash. And I know that like it's such a blanket statement. Yes, like wow. If you don't hate the guy enough, there he is, just waiting to be waiting for right there. My God, what an asshole. Tectone says Hasan broke the law on stream again. California Penal Code Section 597, animal abuse, inappropriate use and abuse of a shock collar falls under this, and many municipalities ban their use. He will not get banned. His audience will tell you why this is a good thing he did it. Hasan will tell you it's out of context and continue to cry about why no one likes him. Twitch is a garbage platform for not taking action. Again.
It's like at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if Hasan for some reason had a cat. I would be willing to put money down that he has that cat declawed. And that's illegal in a lot of states now.
Declawing a cat?
Yep.
I've never owned a cat, so I don't know.
It's like what declawing a cat is essentially removing the first knuckle in their paw.
Oh.
So it's basically amputating a part of their paw. And they're in pain for the rest of their life because of it.
George, who does such a good job with his art, created this piece of art over here, and this is so sad. My master is very important. He tells lots of people what's right and what's wrong. I admire him. I'd love him. I'd love to be closer to him. Maybe if I've been good, he can give me a pet. Bzz. I'll stay here until he needs me.
Oh.
It's the saddest little thing in the world. George has a way with his art. Maybe not so sweet as this one here, as the dog is getting.
Oh, I see those ones. I've seen Mortal Kombat memes come out of this, and I'm like, no.
Pretty fucked up.
It
and
is.
then Blabs, who is Blabs, are you there? Are you going to join us back? Hey, Blabs.
Hi.
Blabs had an interesting suggestion, which I think a lot of people would be very interested in. Why don't you tell us about that one?
Petition to give Hasan a shock collar, see how he likes it. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, he probably already owns 5 of them in different shades of pink on himself, you know? So. But I have never hated this man more than when I saw him shock his dog. I was like, you motherfucker. What did that dog ever do to you, you know? I hate that guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Okay. Like, PETA could do, like, the coolest thing to get some social points back over to them. Won't put them in the positive. Well, little nudge back over there. You could seize his dog.
Well, actually, I just tweeted at PETA and I was like, yo, why haven't you commented on Hasan shocking his dog on Twitch? I'm just saying.
I'm sure they'll get there for sure.
Well, here's the thing. They like to pick and choose, right? And PETA's insane because they love killing animals, ironically. But I'm just curious to see if they'll ever comment about that.
Yeah.
Chrissy's right, though. Nothing will get white women more politically and socially activated and radicalized than witness someone abusing an innocent animal, myself included. Right? But I said, there's this live and let live attitude when it comes to kids. But like when it comes to dogs, people are like, that's a line that you don't cross. You don't cross the puppy dog line. That is something that will not happen. And wow. All right. Fucking crazy. Lum, I know you got a bolt.
Yep, I gotta get ready to go to my day job at the steel mill.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you as always.
Oh, no
And
problem. I will
look forward to
talk
having
to
you back
guys
again soon. Yeah. For
Thanks,
Hell
sure.
yeah.
All right.
Bye, guys.
What a stud.
Bye.
All right.
Where did Arch go, by the way? I kind of missed that.
Arch had to prep for his next thing here. So,
Okay.
8-bit Miko says shock collars are for BDSM lovers, not for animals. Ugh. You ever been shocked by a shock collar, Blabs?
Not a shock collar, no. Lots of fences.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was at work, a lot. I actually got so badly shocked, I saw like the light and everything.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, you know how like it was because I was touching metal at the same time. It was a really bad
you saw
shock.
The light?
Yeah, you saw like giant flash of white light. How bad the shock was.
You're like, Jesus, I'm coming, baby.
No, like it was a really, really bad electric shock with the fences. Oh, that one hurt. Sometimes I still feel it to this day.
You got phantom pains from your.
No, it really did hurt. So what happened was I was working with the pigs, and for some reason the electric fencing got caught on the metal. So I was basically trying to work with the zap. So I was like, all right, zap, okay, go and touch it, move it, like get like, you know. My foot accidentally hit. Like I got hit with like my foot, and I had my finger touching something. So I got like I got lit up, and like my coworker's just watching me while he's on the phone in the truck, and he's like, "What's she doing?" I'm like, "Fuck, motherfucker!" I'm like bouncing around. Yeah, that was one time. There's more shocking stories I can tell if you really want to know.
Yes, please tell me more.
All right, so I was moving a fence because it was like I worked on a ranch that did like moving areas. So like a couple of weeks it'd be in one field eating the land and everything, and then once the pigs got through with it, you rotate them. It was grass-fed ranch, so it was rotations. Anyway, I was making a new electric fencing, so I was picking them up and moving them, and I accidentally got one of those electric fencing. It's one of those portable electric fencing, right? It's like the little wires, right? So one of the wires accidentally snapped back and hit me in the chest because I was kind of kneeling, and it just kind of like followed me as I fell down. Yeah, good shit.
Okay.
Blabs went full Palpatine, unlimited power. Yeah.
Marmalin says, pretend it wasn't a shock collar. Does anyone not go and check on their animal when they yelp?
Yeah.
I've never not gone to my pets and checked on them after something like that.
No, I agree.
Epsilon Sama says, friendly reminder that the Austrian painter was against treating animals badly. So Hasan is literally worse than the Austrian painter. Thank you, Epsilon Sama. Risk Video says, if there's a common denominator on the internet, is that we all do not tolerate the mistreatment of animals. Horrible things happen to people who do. Free Kaya, Montez. Thank
I hope somebody takes the dog away from him.
Wouldn't that be great? Be great. Titanium says, how much longer till you think he abandons the dog somewhere? That's horrible. And I don't even want to think about that poor puppy dog. Commodore fan says, some of my family hunts raccoons. Their dogs have GPS trackers and lemon juice squirters on their collars if they run off too far. When the dogs know too far, then the dogs know when to stop. People who use shock collars make me mad. What is lemon juice to stop dog? I've never heard this before.
Hang on a second. Some of my family hunts raccoons. Dogs have GPS trackers and lemon juice squirters on the collars if they run off too far. Huh. I guess the lemon juice squirters gets them shocked somehow.
Or just maybe a bad smell or something. Commodore fan, I've never heard of this before.
I don't understand.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. Guys, appreciate your support today. We are closing in on our next Montez goal. Let's go and knock that out. Once again, if you guys haven't yet, please join us over, wherever you're tuning in. Hit the follow button, whether it's Rumble or whether it's Kick or obviously on YouTube. We're glad you're with us. We are doing an extended show today. We actually started at like 9:30. I started impromptu at 9:30 this morning. I was told that the Dan Clancy hearing was going to start at 10. It got moved to 2. So hey, we're gonna fire through this thing and see what comes of it, and just be live pretty much all day. So if you guys enjoy having company with you guys all day, do us a favor, make sure you guys subscribe, and if you guys really like what we're doing, join us over on Side Scrollers Plus. We would love for you guys to do that. All right, Blabs, got this this story overnight. I don't know who this person is. I never heard of this person. You ever heard of the streamer Fandy before?
No.
Fandy? Well, Fandy is starting a brand new trend over on Twitter, or I'm sorry, over on X. What am I saying? Over on Twitch. I'm trying to pull up her account with 370 followers over here. From 17 hours ago, Fandy was streaming to an audience of tens of thousands of people as Fandy gave birth on stream. Did you hear about this?
Okay, I heard you guys talk about it this morning, like very briefly, a couple hours ago, but what the fuck?
Here is this right here. Yes.
Out of there soon.
Now you notice who's at the bottom of this.
Dan.
That's right. Dan Clancy, the CEO.
Best of luck and congratulations. Wishing you best. Oh my God. What the fuck? He's going to have a new category called giving birth.
Birth giving. Yes. I don't want to even go into it because that's
no,
such
I
a
don't want to
personal
watch
thing.
this. What the hell?
But you gave birth to a baby girl named Luna on stream. Am I back? Okay, I'm good. On Twitch, surrounded by friends and family.
Wait, what? So like everyone heard everything and saw everything? Oh my God, why?
Blabs, look at this. They have the Twitch chat on the monitor.
Oh my
over
God.
here.
This poor baby. Oh, you know how we were talking about yesterday with the family dancing and all about the content? This baby was just born into one of those families. They don't have a chance in life.
Right. Yeah, we had that conversation yesterday about it. And like, here's the thing. They started this stream. Here it is right here. They started the stream knowing that her water broke. You see what happens. They get a little tub and all sorts of shit set up here. I mean, this is we'll talk about a viral moment, but like that is fucked up. I don't think I can get behind that at all.
No, like I had to watch a baby being born in health class or whatever it was, and like it was like you saw everything. But that's like health class. Like, right? Like you should at least understand what's happening, you know, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But on Twitch, that's not educational. You're just farming content for money and everything. Where's your morals? Where's like your sense of decency? None of this doesn't exist anymore. What the fuck? Like this isn't health class, huh? And even then it was traumatizing when you're like 16, 17, you're like, that's woman's vagina, oh, baby head. Like, no. Only births.
Onlybirths.com. Help pay for the hospital stay.
Seriously, that's wild. No. Again, where's the sense of privacy, decency? Nothing. Doesn't exist anymore.
Straight up, like the idea of the chat as well in the background is like amazing to me. That they would just have this chat flowing in the background, being like, "Oh, you did it," and like they have a hype train going on.
Like that's
come on, guys!
Nuts.
Hey, can we get 10 more subs? Push! Can we get 50 more subs?
That is vile.
Well, the baby is healthy apparently.
At least that's good to hear. Poor thing.
Yeah.
And like again, this thing is gonna be in 15 years. Be like, I saw your mom give birth to you on Twitch. Here, look,
Right.
you want to watch? That's your mom's hoo-ha. Yikes!
Like literally starting on the internet. You're like that's like straight up Truman Show shit.
Like you were born on the internet. That's a title for your resume for working. Huh? What are you known for? Being born on the internet. Yikes.
Hey, Grilled Cheese Enjoyer came in. Says sad. Said sad thing is that he might be punished for the dog for the backlash. Yeah.
Well, at least he gets punished for something. Yeah.
Dan says, well, he was talking about the dog, Blabs, not Hasan. Yeah.
Oh. I thought you meant the Hasan. I'm like, well, at least he gets something, some sort of punishment.
Dan says, we never had a barking shock collar. We did use shock collars for our dogs in the past, but it was for our property yard. We didn't even have a fence. Nowadays, I love my dogs. No shock collars. Now, to be clear, I like the shock collar. I don't hate the shock collar, to be totally clear.
It's appropriate.
Right. What I hate about the shock collar is setting the distance to where the dog can't leave the shot, like it's a prop. That's what I hate. Right.
No, that's not what he was even doing. He just wanted to stop moving.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it moved to a certain point, then it yelped and stuff. But
yeah, because if you look, his arm reaches out and he hits the collar. He's got a button. He's pressing it.
Oh, I did not see that.
Yeah, if you pull it back up, we can look at like shot by shot. He's like moving his arm, pressing the button. You can see him press the button under the table, whatever it is, and that's when the dog yelps because she's moving. He's like, "No, sit down."
Okay, hold on.
So like that's my issue here. You're literally using the shock collar as like a form of like control, and it doesn't need to be because the dog wasn't misbehaving. The dog is calm. The dog was just moving. She's not barking or anything, right? Like if you want to use the shock collar, I'm not really for it, but there are certain circumstances where you need it. Like if the dog is insanely misbehaving, you cannot control this thing whatsoever. The last resort is shock collar. Okay, I'm not a big fan, but I can understand sometimes you need to use it. But this guy is just literally pressing the button.
Or if you don't have a fence. Right, you need to set up an electric.
Yeah, if you
fence.
need some, like I kind of understand it. Sometimes you can just jump over them though. The dog will go anyway.
Commodore fan says dogs hate lemon juice, but it's harmless. The collars were originally invented in France for small dogs that like to yap in public, as the training did. Oh, okay, as a training. Thank you very much, Commodore fan. We have this from Future Kulak. Says no one seems to be talking about this, but a paraglider dropped bombs on a crowd in Myanmar, killing 40, including children. What?
Yep. New York Times. Myanmar military paraglider bombs Buddhist festival, killing dozens. Huh. The world's on fire. What else is new?
But like, it's not like a plane.
Yeah, but it's a military paraglider.
What does that even mean? Some guy in a
Yeah, military dude. Myanmar's military junta bombed a Buddhist festival this week, killing at least 24 people and injuring dozens more, according to a witness and the country's civilian government in exile. There was 100 people gathered in a field after sunset to observe a Buddhist festival of lights with a candlelight event. Lovely.
What a fucking mess.
Yeah.
What a fucking
They're
mess.
also in the middle of a civil war, so I need the Tim Pool meme.
Yeah. Zavania says, aren't births supposed to be like intimate and private?
Right?
Stream audiences are strangers. You're right. Total Truman Show achieved. Right.
I will never understand like women putting like pictures of themselves, about to give birth on the internet and stuff like that. I'm like, what? Isn't that something you want to keep with you and your men, or like something really like private? Nah, the world sees. Like, huh?
Tenarian says, I got electrocuted by a CRT TV once. Felt like my heart was about to burst. I used my last remaining strength to pound my chest as I dropped to the floor in case my heart had stopped. Poppy! Thank you, Tenarian. We did hit a Poppy yesterday. Let's give another Poppy today.
You want another Poppy? Where is she? She's hiding. There she is.
All right. What's up, Poppy? Good to see you. Welcome back. And enjoy your Starbucks there. Right? Both of them. Delta says, I accidentally touched live wire at work, and it wasn't like the movies. After a second or two, my arm felt like the veins were boiling. Yes. Do not touch electric fences. Yes. John says, Hasan screams about fascism, then shocks his dog when he steps out of line.
Well, they're usually hypocritical, these people, so it was for me, but none for thee.
Let's go back to this. And after we do this, I'm going to give the show over to you for a second, Blabs, as I'm going to go grab a quick snack to power through, because we are going to stick around and we're going to watch this thing with Dan Clancy. Blabs, see if you can get anybody else in on the show today. I think that'd be great.
I've been trying. A lot of people are saying that they are not available today.
That's
but
cool.
I think maybe Mally might join later. I think.
Okay, well, let's check out this step by step here from XQC.
There's no audio.
There's no audio, huh? Okay, let's try again. Okay, let's try one more time. There's always these weird things where the audio just like stops working when you share a screen. Here we go. Let's try again.
Hasan the soy boy.
Hasan the soy boy.
Hand over. About to press.
Yeah, see his hand moves over.
Still moving. Now goes forward. I'm assuming.
Which hand?
It's gonna be his left. That
His
one,
left
yeah.
hand here? Okay.
Yeah.
Probably has a, let's say, a Steam Deck.
He's
right?
probably got one hand on the
Hand
mouse
forward.
and
Now,
his free
that was his
hand
arm
is.
forward. Now his hand going forward, probably. See? A little bit more.
Go.
Bang. It would be in the next 3 frames. Chat. The
I might
likeliness.
have wasted $5.
Chad, the likeliness of this being is like 98%.
So
I mean, weird. You see the arm movement?
So he's saying that there's a physical shocker.
Yeah. You don't know that these actually exist. Like a lot of shock collars have a button.
No, I didn't know this.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of shock collars actually have a physical button that's not attached to the collar that you can have wherever you go. You can press the button, and it shocks the dog.
I did not know this. I never heard of this before.
Yep.
All right.
Right? Looking. No more arm movement now. A little bit more. Tiny bit more. A little bit more. Now it stops now.
Poor
Guys,
dog.
99%.
Yeah, I'm with him. I agree with what he's saying here. As far as
He reached over and pressed the button.
you can see his eyes going down there. I didn't know that there was a thing. No idea. Wow.
Yeah, there's like even chat's saying it too. The remote control with the button has different levels of shock too.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's nuts, man. Here we go. We have this. This is interesting here. We have people who are now defending this, by the way, which is, you would
Defending shocking an animal.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Here we go. All right, hold on. I don't know who this person is here, but this tells you a lot about them. Let's see. What the fuck is going on? Why do people think Kaya has a shock collar? This is from Sandy Cheeks over here.
I don't know, maybe the fucking shock collar on the dog.
Right. This person said, I had the same question. And then I looked at the clip in slow motion. It looks like Kaya got her claw stuck on the canvas of her bed.
No.
Kaya.
Let's just see right here if there's any truth to this.
No.
Are you fucking like this person's retarded. They have to be done. They have to be like ridiculously stupid.
No, there's nothing got caught on anything. No nail was caught anywhere. It wasn't even near the edge where it could get caught on something. Nothing. That you're just retarded.
The amount of flags that you
see. Oh,
see
vegan. There you go.
Yeah, that is insane. Wow. The doing whatever they can to protect their savior here, man. That is nuts. Absolutely crazy. Tenarian says, I was against shock collars for dogs. They belong on women. Easy, Tenarian. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, Blabs. Well, let's get to some super chats real quick. Let me go grab a quick bite to eat. And I'm just going to quick snack. And then we'll be back and we will power through because we got a lot more to talk about today. We're glad you guys are with us. We got started a little bit early today. And we've been live for over 3 hours now at this point. Give it up for Blabs once again for being tough and fighting through. She said she's a little under the weather today. So,
yeah, I've been sick since yesterday. It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Very sad.
All right.
Let me hit up all the supers. Go.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
DB says, I say we take off and nuke the site from orbit. Thank you very much. DB says, also, have you educated Craig on Bully McGuire yet? Guys, he doesn't know who Bully McGuire is. I'm just saying. Fake nerd. Mercenary for 5 says, yeah, but if I have my grilled cheese in the morning, I'm making sure I have 4 cheeses in there and at least a side of bacon. Wow. Fancy. Boog says, you're talking about cheese and Lumi shows up. Coincidence? I think not. Ask her about how she uses foot shave. Ew. Ew. Please don't do that. Kevin! I just think come alone. I'll eat biscuits and gravy topped with eggs and bacon every day. However, at 43, it's becoming harder and harder for my body to process it. Sweet Potato Knight says, Blabs, you can eat OG anytime. Checkmate, bigot. bit confused there, but all right. Das Pooch's Blabs, get your Guido foodie hipsterisms out of here. Grilled cheese is not breakfast unless it has egg and bacon and sausage. I don't know, man. People tell other people how they should eat breakfast are a certain type of Istenfeld. I'm just going to say it right there. MJ says, so with the 5 years taxes to emigrate, Norway de facto reinstitutes serfdom. You have to buy your way out of being tied to the land. Fair point. MJ Vane says, this is why I'm a carnivore. I always know what is appropriate to eat at any time. Losing 100 pounds is just a side effect. Marksman says, hi, footfish. Start reading the 1,000 pages. Dylan says, monopolies occur only because of government interference, making it prohibitively expensive for new competition to join. Kick the government out. Mercenary for one says, my German father is old school parent. He would punishment me and ground me for over a year. Super strict is an understatement with him. Rewards were rare with him. You were grounded for a whole year? For what? What did you do? Grilled cheese and Joyce is subject matter expert here. Nothing wrong with grilled cheese for breakfast. I like you. SS says, question for Arch. Sorry, how long do you microwave your tea? Okay, before I had a kettle, I would have to microwave my tea. And one of my friends who was from the UK was basically having a meltdown. True story, in college. Kronk! Got here late, but the ultimate question is Pop-Tart a ravioli? Pop-Tarts are just disgusting. I'm pointing it out, just like that. Also, I have a lot of frizz today. There you go. Yeah, Pop-Tarts are nasty. I'm just saying, it's cardboard. Das Pooch says fairness doctrine was bad, would have forced public airwave stations, TV, AM radio to give equal time to opposing opinion shows. Example after Limbaugh. Space Butler says, make grilled cheese Arches. Make grilled cheese out. Archer's Norwegian cheese and the Norwegian bread. I had a stroke reading that. Thank you. White Wolf for 5 says, didn't that dumb bitch Pan Bondi throw out more censorship after Charlie died? They're going to bring that up. Samuelson says, hey, Arch, did you ever RSP Rester of Sprint personnel from the Army? Sorry, he's not here to answer that. The problem with social media is that they're networks and those gravitate into natural monopolies. You're there because everyone else is there. What's wrong with tuna melts? You can buy them in every store, even at cost in the UK. And I agree with Arch. US basically has a bread substitute with the amount of crap they add to it. Minor says, Valve is the company, Steam is the name of their store and software. Mikey says, so speaking of Discord, apparently the hack was worse than what they've said. Talking about yesterday? Was Discord hacked yesterday? I thought it was just Steam and Riot Games. I've been out of the loop. Nee says, my stepkids gets bullied because they have parental controls on their phones. A lockdown when I found one getting groomed on Discord. I have a slur for the Mexican pain in dollars calling me out. Arch and Lumi know the slur. Okay. Pastor Dave says, when parents blamed Eminem for the kids' behavior, then Eminem made a song saying who's responsible for allowing them to listen to his music's parents. Okay. Magma says, to appease Luma, you need to sacrifice a Shota to Lum Lum. That or Feet either works for her. Grulgar says, I need the Sam Hyde to bust into the same point screaming, Hasan Piker! Remember Kluchar ate a salad with a comb to Karen, an intern. English. Joker says, an uber-liberal uncle of mine recently shared a Sora video on Facebook of a cat defending a baby on a front porch from a bear. The watermark was there and everything, and he thought it was real. Well, that's just his fault. Alan says, what happened to the side-scroller snapbacks? Like the hats? Are they not on the merch store anymore? You have to ask Craig that one. Lord says, Arch, have you seen the Golden Comb music video? Funny. Sorry, it's not here anymore. Dusty says, all this AI stuff is just making real life look much more appealing to me. She's scared. Wow, welcome to our world. Manic says, when a woman, especially a politician, doesn't want to play the blame game, it's because she knows she's going to lose. Okay. Doppelganger says, the answer is obvious. Immediately go public. Firearm ownership and voter ID should be mandatory. In fact, let's combine them. Government-issued machine guns with voter ID embedded for citizens. Okay, Barch. Over-under on if they ask about the shock collar. Who? What are we talking about? Who's they? Arch, look up Irish soda bread and tell me, would you eat it or not? Sorry, he's not here. Comment fan says, I know this social media stuff is important, but this is so boring that I'm falling asleep at my desk at work. Can we please move on? Thanks, Craig. Mercenary says, have to send this here because Rumble won't let me. What? I won't be surprised if a song gets a visit from somebody at Animal Control and they take the dog away. Get the man the Shock C-ring and hook it up to Twitch alerts. Joey says, so Hasan is not only a terrorist-loving left-wing Nepo baby, but a dog abuser. Just when you thought you couldn't hate him more, he deserves to be thrown in jail. Yep. Joker for One says, explains a lot about Blabs. This is in regards to me getting shocked a lot when I was working. Listen, it only happened like 5 times. Adam for One says, everyone that says babies are military targets is trash. He needs to be kicked off. Rod says, poor baby, he gonna learn that on a few years how his mama is. Yeah. The social media platforms aren't the problem, it's what they became. Everyone's chasing viral paid content. Another problem is politics. We used to talk about hobbies and common things, not politics. I agree. Hypernuts, hi Blabs, help me feel better. Thank you. I don't know. I think I had like a giant allergic reaction or something, and like I'm still dying. Rod says, I agree, Blabs, but the modern woman wants validation and attention, so you're one of the few women that truly are based. Sorry. And then Speedy Cake says, did I miss the Congress stuff? Not exactly. Not exactly. And Yeti says, some people haven't seen the D. Schneider testifying in front of Congress, and it shows. Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know what you're on about. Mercenary says, I made a mistake in front of my dad, and that was it. He was forcing me to try to learn something, but I didn't understand anything as a kid. All right. And then Madman says, the first day after setting an electric wire around the chicken pen, went to check on it and heard a weird sound. Found a raccoon holding the wire, kicked him off the wire, and he stumbled off dazed but fine. Yikes. That's bad. And I just seen one of these pop in. Let me get this real fast. Derek says, carnivore is fine as a weight loss strategy, but it's extremely overrated otherwise. I'm 35, best shape of my life. Fantastic health and still have junk food in my diet. I eat tons of carbs too. Thank you for that. And then White Wolf for 10 on Plus says, Hasan is a terrorist who denies the Armenian genocide and promotes a religion that calls canines unclean beasts. I come from a culture that reverses and protects dogs. This is not surprising. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of him. But you know what? Okay, so Craig's about to show up real fast. And let's see if he wants to talk about cheese real fast. Craig, do you want to talk about cheese real fast?
No.
Oh. You sure?
Sure.
Sure as in no, you don't want to talk about cheese?
I want to know how'd you do in your in the void of streaming here.
I literally just got all the super chats in 5 seconds before you sat down. I said, let's talk about cheese.
Oh, great.
So
Chat, how'd she do? Did she do good?
I mean, I just read the super chats. There was like 50 of them. So thank you everyone for your donuts.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. Dax says, how about a real show? Okay.
I literally have like waiting on timestamps for gaming history and hard news. So, I'm ready.
Normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig.
I did. Oh, wow. Right on the tip. Just on the tip.
And Blabs. Co-hosted by our friends from around the internet.
There is a portion of Norway where it is legally required to carry a firearm at all times.
If you're just a normal man looking for common sense in this crazy-ass world, you've come to the right place. And now, broadcasting from our homes from around the internet, it's time for Side Scrollers. Oh, welcome out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com, and most importantly, Side Scrollers Plus.com. What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to you here on this wonderful brand new show, never starting, ready to go. We got a big show lined up for you guys. Big one. If you guys didn't know, tons of people here joining us right on time. Glad you're with us. Big day. Good old CEO of Twitch speaking to Congress and stuff. We're going to get to that a little bit later on. But first, everybody, put your hands together straight from Guam, ladies and gentlemen. Blabs.
You didn't even pull me up. You literally just have yourself. Now look at me. I'm a hoodie ninja.
You're what?
A hoodie ninja.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
I'm
hi.
glad you are. Hey, quick heads up. Tomorrow, we actually have something going on over on Side Scrollers Plus, which is very, very fun. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing an Antique Roadshow.
So excited.
Stream. I know. Everyone's like, yes. Everyone's like, really? We're going to be doing an Antique Roadshow Price is Right game. And I tried this. I actually played with my wife last night. We watched the Antique Roadshow. I've never been an Antique Roadshow guy, but I totally see the value in the show. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow exclusively for Side Scrollers Plus members. It should be a fun time. You excited for that?
Hell yeah, I am. I love Antique Roadshow. I find it fascinating. Especially like when you have something and they're like, oh, this is actually worth like $200. And you just see their face of just disappointment because they thought they had like gold. I like that. Kind of
Well,
funny.
alas, yes, they didn't. But sometimes they do. Sometimes they do have like tremendous. We're talking about that painting yesterday that was worth like $200,000. It was just like hanging out in the lady's closet. And she came out and there was $200,000 worth of painting. It's like, holy shit, man. How great would that be, huh?
To have $200,000 just lined up in a painting? Be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
So would you, Blabs, if you had a $200,000 painting, would you?
What if I do already?
Would you? Well, okay, Blabs, with your $200,000 painting that you do have, first and foremost, what are you doing, right? Right. If you had $200,000 just hanging around in a painting, would you sell it immediately or wait for the value to go up?
I don't know, because what if you have this is just a financial thing, but you have to also consider the emotional attachment to it, the non-monetary, benefits that you have. Like you love that that painting, whatever it is,
No.
So I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I don't know how I would answer that. I would honestly, seeing how so many things are fluctuating and so many people just don't actually care about art anymore. I feel like I would probably have to sell it.
Yeah.
But then I'd also be afraid that you sold too soon, because that's happened many times to people when they sell something and like 5 years later, whatever, the value is like 3 times the amount than what you sold it for.
Yeah, I hear that, but at the same time, you just got to live with it. It's like you could hold on to your house forever, and the value will go up, but eventually you just got to sell it. Right? Maybe. No,
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like it's very circumstantial.
Well, yes, of course, but I'm asking, in that circumstance, would you sell it?
I don't know. It would have to depend. It would literally have to depend on every little thing.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I do have one-on-one paintings right behind me. I'm just saying.
Whoa, 1 of 1. That's great. Worth 7 cents.
Actually, no.
What are they
They're
worth,
not.
lads? What are they worth?
Okay, so the two behind me in the green frames, probably about 400, 800 each minimum. Minimum right now. Yeah. And they're only going to go up because they're one-on-ones by one of the illustrators of the Harry Potter books in the UK.
Okay. Great. Wonderful.
I got lots of cool shit, okay?
You sure do. That's right. Hey, also coming up on Plus on Monday, looks like Wicked's going to be doing a little solo
Yeah,
play?
so Wicked's going to do some solo potato plays, as she calls them. She's going to be playing some Dead by Daylight, 10 a.m. Eastern, only for an hour until 11 a.m. Eastern. And then, obviously, we're going to go live like an hour after that. So, yeah.
Great. So lots of things going on over
Only
on,
over on Plus.
All right, so Arch and Lum joined us earlier, which if you're just popping in, we've been live for a good amount of time, 3 hours and 16 minutes now. And we are going to be looking at the Dan Clancy stuff over on Congress. That's the Twitch CEO. We're glad you're with us. Thanks so much for hanging out. We are looking for the new link. So Blabs, see if you can find that link. We'll get to that here in just a little bit. Find it over. I'll look on C-SPAN as well while we're going. But with it just being Blabs and I flying solo today until the Dan Clancy thing, we may have a few guests pop in here there. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen. We would like to start the show as we always do with Today in Gaming History. So Blabs, do you have it ready to go? Is it queued up?
Oh, I never added it, but I can share it real fast on screen. Yeah.
Today, in gaming history with Blabs.
That's me.
There she is, the Guamanian fart queen, everybody. Ready to go.
All right. Let me get rid of this. Look. This is what I can do. I can do this real fast. Oh, that's really big. Okay, no, we can't do that. All right. Anyway, October 8th, everybody. I feel like you what? Because I said that's really big. What happened was I clicked the image to open up in a new tab, and it was super zoomed. All it said on my screen was Mortal Kombat. So I said, "Oh, that's too big."
Okay.
Oh boy. Anyway. Shit. Okay, Mortal Kombat, everybody, was released in 1992. Nancy Drew, A Legend of the Crystal Skull, which, by the way, I think is very ironic that, in 2008, Indiana Jones came out, and it was, the Crystal Skull. And I'm like, did they just steal the game title of Nancy Drew? Anyway, that was released in 2007, and then Batman Arkham Dual Pack was released in 2013.
God, you suck. Okay, obviously Mortal Kombat's the big one on the list here. But some noticeable games that you missed today, Blabs, include, obviously, you mentioned Mortal Kombat, literally changed arcades, changed the ESRB, changed all sorts of stuff. Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters Melee for the GameCube. Those who played it know it. Those who played it love it. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters, great stuff right there. Time Splitters 2 for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. Blabs, you ever heard of any of these games before?
No.
Okay. Scarface, The World Is All Yours for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox, when you can make a game about killing people with manly men right there. Scarface right there. But yes, Blabs decided to put in Nancy Drew, The Legend of the Crystal Skull.
You know I had to.
Mm-hmm.
Also, because the Crystal Skull. Come on, it's funny. Indiana Jones. I get it. Crystal Skulls are real, obviously, or yeah. But I just thought it was funny. It was a little tie-in Indiana Jones.
Dishonored, released for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 13 years ago in 2012 over here. XCOM, Enemy Unknown, released 13 years ago as well. Man, it's some good games 13 years ago. Beyond Two Souls, the didn't quite make it. First party exclusive, I believe, for PlayStation right there, 12 years ago. Here's the big one, Blabs. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair, which was a really good sequel with Yooka-Laylee. The Impossible Lair being legitimately one of the hardest platforming levels I've ever seen. And Metroid Dread, released 4 years ago for the Nintendo Switch, a game that I have yet to play, but everybody says, God damn it, Craig, you better play it. Oh, and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero right there. That was a big one as well last year.
Yeah, that one was released 1 year ago. I've heard mixed about that one.
So Chad, go crazy. Chad is extremely upset. Tenarian came in with
Nancy Drew.
Well, Nancy Drew, that's right, Blabs. Way to go. Tenarian says, late and gay, tardy and homosexual even. Thank you, Tenarian. Right on time as always, which is a big part of the show. Delta says, Craig, Blabs did terribly while you were away. She read donations without stuttering or mixing up words on screen. She even replied to them. Blabs, you're fired.
I did a good job, damn it.
Jose says, did I miss the John Lithgow picture news? I don't even know. What is that about?
Okay, so he's talking about John Lithgow as Dumbledore. There have been set leaks in the HBO Harry Potter show, and people are... There's a great debate on it, really. Does it look good? What's missing? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Well, does it look good?
It feels like it's missing something, but again, it's not official. It's not post-production, right? It's on set, but the thing is, he's on a beach, and we're all like, why the fuck is Dumbledore on a beach? There's never a beach scene. And they're only filming season 1 and 2 consecutively, so they're expanding the lore. I won't bore you because I know you just kind of turn off, but yeah, it's missing something. That's it.
Sorry, what?
Yeah, see?
I'm looking for this. I'm looking for where the Twitch stuff is going to happen.
I haven't seen anything. Watch them totally cancel it all.
No, that is no way. If they cancel it, I'm going to go fucking balls crazy. It's ridiculous. Matt came in and says, most shock collars have several modes: noise, vibrate, then shock. Point is the shock is the last resort, and you can train the dog to chill out way beforehand. It's a tool that is commonly abused. Thanks, Mac. Appreciate the clarity on that. Nick says, I had a bottle calf push Oh, a bottle.
Oh, for
calf.
fuck's sakes! I had a bottle calf push my hand right into
I don't know what a
fence
bottle
years ago.
calf is. What is
Oh,
a
you don't know
bottle
what fucking
calf?
bottle calf is? Oh,
I'm not
literally,
raised on a farm, Blabs.
You're literally bottle feeding a calf.
I
It's
had
not
a
that
bottle calf. So that's like a thing, a bottle. It's called a bottle calf.
Okay. All right, listen, we're going to have Agriculture Day with Blabs here. All right, a bottle calf is literally you. First of all, your mic is just gone right now. A bottle calf is when you're literally giving a bottle of milk or whatever supplements to the calf, right? And they also have little stands basically, so you don't have to stand there and give the calf, the bottle. You don't have to wait doing that. You literally just put the bottle inside an insert, and it starts. It's drinking from like basically the nipples, if you will. There it is.
Okay.
So apparently the calf literally backed his hand up into the electric fence.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you say like I don't know what a bottle calf is. It's not like we call it like a bottle child, or like a bottle.
Well, because there's two different things, right? Obviously, the calf either goes for the mom or the supplements.
Nick, thanks for dividing us further. Skeptical Luigi says this is just a warm up for the subathon. Do we have some sort of graphic or something to show from Skeptical?
No,
Luigi?
it was just me reading super chats.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah. So just so you know, we are no longer calling it the subathon. We have changed, but the message is still the same. Everything we worked on is still the same. It's now called the Fundathon. It's our first ever Fundathon. It's going to be the same idea. But the premise is that we are funding projects and ideas that we have for 2026. And you guys will actually be able to sponsor episodes of Side Scrollers, which is something we're really, really, hopefully we get every single episode of Side Scrollers sponsored for the year 2026. And we're actually going to open each episode saying, this episode is brought to you by Blabs or whatever. And maybe some sort of tagline that you want to say, I think that'd be really, really fun because we like the idea of being funded by you, not by any sort of major corporation or anything like that. Anyway, so the Fundathon happening in about 10 days. So it's gonna be good times. Azura Circuit says, I woke up today with some cider VTuber drama, and she made it worse for herself, blamed gaslighting, and called herself a victim. I see there's a lot of drama going on in the VTuber space. I just don't know a whole lot about that. But
honestly, I don't really care about the VTuber drama stuff.
I don't really care about anybody's drama, really.
No.
Yeah. Give it up for Bright Gaming, who raided us over on Rumble. Thank you very much. Appreciate the raid. Glad you're with us, and hopefully all is well with you, Bright Gaming. Appreciate the support over there. That's wonderful. All of our friends over on Rumble. Love to see that.
I do want to point out that everyone keeps sending me this, so I don't know if you've seen this or not. This was posted an hour ago. The House Congressional meeting today with CEO of Reddit's, Twitch, Discord, and Steam has been reportedly postponed or canceled.
Wait, what?
Now, this was posted like an hour ago, but the thing is, I can't find fuck all about this. Like, Lumi sent me this and Flash just sent me this, so well, I don't know what that means. I don't know if they mean like postponed as in like it's in an hour at 3 p.m. Eastern with what they were originally saying, or postponed like a whole other date. So
I'm not happy about this.
No.
April!
I had to do something.
Kalichi's right. I need to verify this. How do we verify
Yeah,
this?
that's what I'm wondering. Like, where is this information coming from? From Yeet.
Blabs, get you know what? Hold on. That's on the Yeet right here?
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna DM them because I actually have the DM stuff for Yeet. Go get the rest of these supers real fast.
Okay.
While I DM them and say, where'd you get this?
Yeah, okay. Christmas Loving Engineer for 20 says, hey, y'all. We know y'all didn't have to spend all the extra time today, but still did it for us normal men. We appreciate y'all and everything y'all do. Thank you very much. Trinity says, blabbity blabs, I'm Dolly Brain. Is he calling me stupid? I don't know. But anyway, thanks. Pull up the D. Snyder Congress testimony. And JK says, has there been a fallout with Razor Fist and side scrollers? Also, what dog breed is the coolest?
No, not at all. Actually, I love Razor. I would love to have him back on. He's just busy, man. He's doing his own thing. Dude, I love Razor. Like, I actually think some of our best shows have been with Razor on them. I think Razor and I have really great chemistry. I would love for Razor to be on regularly. He's just got other shit going on, man. You know, when Razor wants to come back, he is an open invite. He can come on anytime. Okay, so I have a DM out to Yeep right now saying, hey, what the fuck? Tell me more.
Also, I think terriers are the best.
Terriers are the best dog, yes. I think that's been well established.
Most personality.
Yeah, terriers are indeed the best, for
Very
sure.
spirited. And they're funny and they're very sweet.
Okay, look, this is very disheartening news to hear that. If I need confirmation. I need confirmation on this. And if it is indeed canceled, I may just drop my pants right here and shit on this table, because that pisses me off so bad. That makes me so fucking mad. I know Blabs is like, I'm out. I don't want to be here either if that's the case. Fuck that, man. That makes me so fucking mad. Oh my God. It's like it is the best example of government ever. We're like, hey, this is going to be happening at 10 a.m. No, it's going to be happening at 2. No, it's never going to fucking happen. Like, why do I not take anything anybody says seriously when it comes to government? This is why. Why do I not trust the government? This is why. A small metaphor, but it makes all the sense in the world. All the sense in the world. Unbelievable.
Oh, hey. Just saying, but when I do a little quick search on like Dan Clancy Congress, and you do like in the last 24 hours, there's literally nothing there. So I really think nothing's happening today.
Hold on. Is Dan Clancy on Twitch?
Like, what do you mean on Twitch?
Or, I'm sorry, on let's see, Dan Clancy.
On X? I can never find him on X. So I kind of wonder if like he's got a weird username. Maybe it says like Deer Token. I don't know.
Because if he is, I want to be like, yo, dude. Yo, dog. Oh my God. Okay, where's this at? Let me find this real quick. Next session, clerk, the United States House.
Oh, that's why. It's Daniel Clancy. That's why. Okay. So he's not posted anything since like July or August on Twitter.
Okay, hold on. This is a screenshot here. The clerk, United States of how? Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find this exact thing. United States of Representatives. Let's see if we can find this website. I've got it. Let's see. House floor.
Yeah, I see it too. It says live streaming the next session at 3 p.m., but it doesn't say what.
Are we on the website? Like, are you on the website itself?
Yeah, here, I'll put in the private chat for you so you can pull it up.
Is this it right here?
That's not what I'm looking at. If you click house.gov.
Live.house.gov. Let's see.
You click that button.
This right here, huh?
Yeah, that's what I see. But the thing is, it doesn't say what it is.
What do you think, chat? I feel like we've gone this far. But 3 p.m. is that Eastern? That's Eastern, yeah?
I am assuming, unless they mean Pacific time or Central time, in which case it's gonna be more than an hour.
Today's the 8th, right? Yeah. Next session starts at 3. Bills, vetoes, caption text, schedules. No floor schedules available. See docs.house.gov. Okay, hold on. I'm looking here. Let's see. We have for the week of September 15th, 2025. Well, I don't even feel so fucking stupid doing all this live.
It says October 8th. If you skip to a week. And you click on October 8th, right? You click on the date, October 8th, on a mini calendar. You literally get a pop-up says there was no legislation business for this week. So their fucking website isn't even up to date.
Yeah, so you can't see it, but there actually is a pop-up.
Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out U.S. government for always being on target, always being on time, and being up to date with their shit.
Arma says, "Deep breath, Craig. Don't go on a rampage. Today's show has been great, regardless if they showcase it or not." Thanks, Armis. Appreciate you, my man. Mozambique Enjoyer says the government and game developers be like, we hear your complaints and we'll do better. That's right. Thank you, Mozambique Enjoyer. And Trinity says, it wasn't being mean, I'm just being silly. Thanks, Trinity. That's right. You know, Crispy Joe's right. Maybe they just know we're going to be watching it. Maybe they just know and they're just trying to
I actually don't think this is gonna happen like whatsoever. And here's the thing: there's another thing going now. You have to be mindful of who the source is. Pirate Nation, I find to be a bit of a wanker. However, he's also saying the House congressional meeting today with CEOs of Reddit, Twitch, and Discord and Steam has been postponed. Despite the initial invitation letter suggesting October 8th, no hearing was actually ever scheduled, and they are still working to find a date that accommodates all four company schedules. And honestly, I kind of believe this shit because we've not seen anything about anything whatsoever anywhere.
I'm not very happy about this.
You know it's right, though.
Oh, yeah. And who said that again? I'm sorry.
This is Pirate Nation.
Pirate Nation. Okay.
Again, take it for what you will. However, it does make sense.
Why do you have issues with Pirate Nation?
He's posted a lot of fake news before and just rage bait.
Okay.
So I don't particularly like him for that reason.
Okay, let's see what the response is here. I get the other three.
Yeah, I'll pull your screen up.
There's nothing scheduled for 3 p.m. Yeah, I already did. We'll see if it's related. If I get a call back, blah, 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 blah. Congress is a fucking joke. Yeah. Okay. Wow. God, if that's the case, that fucking sucks. Oh my God, that's crazy. Nick says, lol, Craig, I knew you couldn't read, but dang, sometimes when you sometimes when you need to distract. No, it says do distract, Blabs. When you need do distract a bot. Two. See, don't tell me I can't read when you're throwing in all these crazy little letters in here that don't make sense. Blabs.
Listen, I can still read it. Can you?
Go ahead.
Oh, well, Craig, I knew you couldn't read, but dang, sometimes when you need do distract a bottle calf, you let it suck your finger. Otherwise, it'll just headbutt you over and over until it gets the bottle. I've been there, bro. You just give him the bottle. Just give him the bottle. That's all they want.
Thank you, Cowboy Nick. Appreciate that. 60 Watt says, isn't the government shut down right now anyways? There's plenty of government officials that are working right now. Delta says, how can we blame women on Clancy not showing up to Congress today? No, we cannot. We cannot do that. Well, if by women you mean what's his name? Hasan. Or no, you can blame him on watching the childbirth last night. The childbirth that was live on Twitch. I'm going to tell you right now, I am extremely distraught. Blabs, extremely distraught.
They're there.
Yeah. Okay, this is what we're going to do. No, we gotta know. I gotta know that this isn't gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen. Stop trying to make fetch happen. There's nowhere. It's literally not on the internet whatsoever. If there was something, we would have heard by now. The internet travels fast.
I just need some proof.
What do you mean you need some proof? We went to the fucking website. There's nothing scheduled for October 8th on that little mini calendar. Okay. Unless you're saying at 3 p.m. there's gonna be something, but you don't even know what it's gonna be. It could literally be something about like bananas and the FDA.
All right. So look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make the jump to Rumble. Okay. I wish that we could do this. I don't even know what's gonna happen. We still get some things to talk about. We've been live for 3.5 hours over on YouTube and Rumble and Kick, but we're going to spend our last hour over on Rumble, okay? Because part of our partnership with Rumble is doing an hour over on Rumble. So you guys hanging out over on YouTube, do me a favor. Would you please open up a new window and join us at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Now, you may be saying to yourself, why would I want to do that? Because I may fucking melt down and go insane. That's why.
It's gonna be awesome. He's just gonna turn into like the Wicked Witch of the West or whatever and just melt. Melting.
Don't be all like salty. Don't be all weird and be like, oh no, I'm not gonna do this. Join us over on Rumble. Okay. We're gonna finish up. We're gonna go hour strong over there. I would love if One of you. John Doe says, no, absolutely not. I'm not watching Rumble. No! Mm-mm. Hayden Wayne says, the schedule for legislation doesn't include hearings. It wouldn't be listed there.
So where would it be listed, Sir Hayden? I would love to know. Like,
Hayden,
genuinely asking.
Are you saying that there's a possibility that it's still happening? 60 Watts says, don't believe her, Craig. She's part of the PSYOP. Are you, Blabs? Are you part of the PSYOP?
How do you know what's real and what's not real, Craig? Is this the real life?
Listen,
or is it just fantasy?
We've established this many, many times. Many, many times.
Kind of landslide, you know?
Yeah. Please stop singing that. Let's see. Let's see. No post. Okay. By the way, Yeet says, no posting on today's Congress schedule. My head mod is keeping me posted. We couldn't find much info on it. If you want to keep up with that, you can DM him. I haven't been looking around too much for it. Okay, I'm going to do a little digging on this and see if I can find this person over here. So, okay. Okay. All right. Damn. Minor says, I'm still disappointed with that thing Craig made with nacho cheese from a bottle and then called it a taco. Listen, I told you it wasn't real cheese. It was not real cheese. That was queso. Bike Shorts says, I'm not going to open another window, Craig. I'm not going to open another app, Rumble app, because I'm on mobile. Well, you can open up a new app. It's really simple, Bike Shorts. But thank you for watching over on that. Okay, please open up a new window. Join us over on Rumble. We got an hour of power over there. You're either going to see me extremely happy or extremely upset in about 45 minutes.
He's gonna have a meltdown. It's gonna be fantastic.
My entire day has been built around this fucking thing. And for this not to happen, I'm going to go fucking insane. Okay. So open up a new window. Join us over there, rumble.com/sideshows. If you haven't yet, make an account. We literally see a benefit from you doing that. So please join us. Rumble.com/ you got to go to rumble.com/sideshows for it to benefit us. If you just make an account in Rumble, it doesn't really count, but you can do it over there. All right. Fuck. So mad. We got really close to another Montez, and you know what? I want to play a Montez because I want to play a Montez, and we're going to play a fucking Montez because it's my show, and we're going to do this. And here we go.
Bitch! Montez!
One of my favorites right there. All right, Kick. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Find us over at Rumble, rumble.com/sideshow. See you later. Bye, Kick.
Bye, Kick.
And you guys hanging out over YouTube. I'm sorry. I wish I'm going to go fucking insane. But thank you guys for hanging out with us. I know it was a long day. I thought it was actually really fun to do that. But I'm glad you guys hung out with us, which is great. Join us over on Rumble for some tuna sandwiches. Just kidding. All right, see you guys later. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Fatality.
I'm going to be so fucking